Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We are going to be playing SolForge Fusion today. If you haven't seen it, this is part 2 of our Introducing SolForge series. That's a lot of S's and C's.
Introducing SolForge series. How is everybody doing? I see Alex down in the chat. He's delivering the mail.
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well.
Yeah.
I was asking them mainly. I've been talking to you all morning.
We tried to do this video last week, and then the weather just dunked on us. We were here. The plan was arrive at the office.
It was devastating because we made the effort.
Before the snow hits, because it was supposed to hit at like 9 or 10 in the morning. And then we'd be here, and we could stream. And then by the time the day was over, the roads should be treated and dealt with and stuff. The weather came earlier. It was worse than expected. And then we were here, ready to go. Our internet went out.
Yeah,
devastating.
It was devastating. I've made the treacherous trip in, and then still wasn't able to deliver on the goods.
Yeah, but I've been looking forward to playing this game again since the whole past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Just getting it back on the table.
Yeah, absolutely. We couple of things up front before we dive in. We're going to be exploring some of the factions. We're going to play another game, maybe 2. We're going to use some of the factions that we didn't use last time, or at least I am, and then talk about, like, kind of look at the cards and talk about how these factions are interacting with the game in different ways, kind of what their color pies are, if you will. And then also just kind of some of the deeper strategies that you look at when you start trying to combine decks and find that perfect pair. So we've got, 8 decks here? Is that right? Or do we have more than that?
We each have, so
16 total?
They're the same, though. So, those 8 decks are these 8 decks. So we technically have 8 decks.
So we've got 8 decks, and we're looking at the different ways in which we're going to be combining these to generate different synergies at the end of this video. So stay tuned for that. Also want to say a huge shout out to everybody who has signed up for the SolForge Fusion subscription. There is a lot of you out there, and it's amazing. And I've got some great comments on YouTube and all the other platforms, Discord as well. Somebody recently commented they jammed like 50 plus games on Tabletop Simulator in 3 to 4 days and are in love with the game. So that's amazing. So thanks for the sub. And then also we are looking at and pretty confident that we'll be able to offer the starter products.
Yep.
So looking at playmats and the actual starters. So you can look for those on our website soon. We'll be having those for pre-order ahead of the launch of SolForge Fusion.
Some questions coming in that are probably worth addressing before we dive in. One from Michael saying, Team, I just finished rewatching part 1 prior to this, and because of the fun and support you're showing the game, convinced me to subscribe and give the game a shot. # put it on the board.
All right, put it put it right up there.
I'm just here reading it. This game is really fantastic. If you haven't listened to the podcast we did with Justin over from Stoneblade, I recommend checking that out. There was another question coming through. Someone essentially concerned, Christy, saying, my main concern with SolForge is the hassle of separating decks constantly, and maybe as important, that most local game stores seem to be avoiding anything that was kickstarted. Makes me think there might not be a community for this game. I do think that's possible, but at the same time, a lot of times kickstarted games are more like board games.
Sure.
You don't see as many expandable type games, and just the recognition that, like, I think if everyone else's experience is like mine, what's going to happen is you play the first couple games, you're like, yeah, it's pretty good. That's cool. And you have the hook of like upgrading cards and seeing what they do and stuff. And then you get 3 or 4 in and you're just like the people that played 50 games. It's like, this is fascinating. There's a lot here. Even literally, I played further back than when we played on stream a couple weeks ago. And we announce it. I sign up for my subscription. We play on stream.
As is customary.
Yeah, I'm talking about it on the Discord and whatnot. And then I'm sitting there literally this weekend. I was like, so I didn't know this, but a display, is that what it's called? The bigger one?
16 decks.
16 decks. It was cool. Someone pointed out that with 16 decks, there's 96 ways to combine them.
96 combinations that you can make.
Which is pretty wild. And then it goes exponential from there if you add another one.
So it's $96 for a display through
$1 per combination.
So it's $1 per combination, but you couldn't write it anymore.
The value,
even know that.
Who priced that thing? They knew what was going on. But the recognition is you get in each box that is 4 decks, right? You get 4 of those boxes in a display. In each box you get a deck from each faction, apparently. And so then last week I played red and green. I like them a lot. They had a good
Classic
time together.
colors, primaries.
Yeah.
Are they primaries? Green primary color?
No.
Blue, red, and
yellow.
Yellow?
Yeah.
Yellow's a primary color? Are you serious?
Yellow and blue makes green. Yellow and red makes orange.
Yellow? Nobody thinks about yellow.
Red and
really?
Yeah. Blue makes purple.
What's the weakest primary color for sure?
Yellow?
Yellow?
Yeah, yellow is one of my least favorite colors.
Yeah, most
easily.
people don't like it, actually. It's John's favorite, I think.
I thought his favorite was clear.
Yeah, well, that doesn't count because that's ridiculous.
That's a long story. But here's what I realized. And if you've already signed up, seriously, huge shout out to you. That game has been we've streamed once, and we did a podcast already tremendously successful on our end, which is going to allow us to keep supporting this game, which is amazing. But recognizing that in the display that I signed up for, I'm going to get 4 red decks, 4 green decks, and I was like, that's not enough.
Oh,
for me.
So you upped it to 6, 7 displays?
I haven't made my mind up yet.
I'll tell you this. One extra display, apparently 430% more options when it comes to deck building.
Yeah, because
it's
multiplication, right? It's not addition.
Yeah. Pairings, etc.
So I'm currently struggling with the internal debate of how many to buy. So stay tuned for the answer to that.
And this is actually real. Zach does stand to benefit financially in the long term from everybody being convinced to buy more boxes. So that's true. But he genuinely buys all this stuff and actually thinks about how much to buy and is engaging in that kind of a way, almost as a separate entity from any business owning mind that you have, because you can't help but be like, I've got to have these things and I want this stuff and I want to have all the options in deck building and all that. And thank goodness you're doing that for Fab, because my gosh, you're saving me a ton of cash.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so we're looking to offer the starters, and then to your point, so like, is this going to be supported at the FLGS level? I mean, every game that isn't 3 to 4 games has to ask that question on whether or not that's actually the case. Whether the players want it to happen, Ashes is the same thing. Can you gather in other places? There's a huge online push on Tabletop Sim, so that helps bridge the gap as well. Yeah. Looking at establishing the digital client, that further helps bridge the gap. But anything that gets enough attention or enough interest from players should get the attention of local stores. Whether or not that's the case is a different kind of problem, not necessarily a SolForge Fusion problem. It's a local store problem. Yeah. So, concerns, whatever.
Well, and I do know,
figure it out.
Last I knew, Stoneblade was planning on going to Gamma, which is this month. That's a show we have gone to in the past. We're not going this year. But it's kind of geared towards the industry and retailers. And I know they're doing a lot of work to touch base with other content partners potentially, and then also retailers and distributors and all that kind of thing. I also think the timing of this, if you're Stoneblade, Fantasy Flight kind of punning Keyforge,
couldn't ask for better, could you?
Just couldn't have had better timing. For us locally, Keyforge was a very popular game, great community. The barrier to entry obviously is super low with these unique style games where you just need to buy a couple decks and you're ready to play. So I think in terms of local retailers, it's kind of like the opposite problem. Like, if you're trying to sell something like Fab, you can eventually have a playset. Mm-hmm. With the unique that game where you can have sealed events on a weekly basis, there's no end to the number of decks that you could potentially want to explore and open. And it's just different. I don't see it as like I'm going to buy everything I'm ever going to buy up front. You're probably, the way I approach Keyforge, right, was 1 or 2 displays, find the decks that you want to play, and then also attend sealed events so that I can slowly, that's an experience, and then I can also build my collection and get more factions that I like.
Don't you think it'll really be at the local store level, like you come in, you pay your 15 to 20, depending on if you're charging for actually the event management or not. But that gets, so it's what, $30 for a pack of 4 decks, right? Mm-hmm. So let's say you split that across 2 players and you give 2 random decks to each that will pair together. And then, so you're playing in a $15 to $20 event. That's a great time on its own. And then you keep the decks that you get distributed, and you can do that every week. That's kind of how Keyforge went for us for so long. So if stores are paying attention and they understand what the fundamental model of a unique deck game represents on a week-to-week basis, I think they're going to be in a good spot with this. If they're just going to be keeping the blinders on the big 3, again, that's a different issue that isn't a SolForge issue. Yeah,
for sure. But I do think that's why any game that is not going to reach that level, it's why I was so excited when Justin was talking about how serious they were taking the online component. Because the number of people that could play on an app or something all the time, and then once a quarter make a little bit longer of a journey to go to an event, or once a year or whatever it is to play in person, I think that's a great way for these like smaller to mid-tier sized games, which is most games, right?
Nearly all of them.
Yeah. Very few actually reach the the top of the mountain, as it were, for that very reason. But there's a ton of games that exist in that space that are quite successful. So it is a big question, and one of the challenges of any publisher who's going to go through that system of retail and 3-tier and stuff, figuring out how to make it make sense down the line.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely. J.K. Lawlings, hooray, SolForge. I've only done a couple games on Tabletop Sim, but love the game. It's fantastic. Scouto, which looks like on Twitch, maybe a representative of Stoneblade. I can't swear to that.
Speaks as though they
Certainly
are,
looks like
seemingly.
Could be Justin in there. TTS mod automates a ton for you. It's a great place to get a number of quick games, and they spend a ton of time on that TTS mod. So if you have that capability, check it out over there. I love the commentary behind Yellow, which is funny. In fact, the majority of the chat is about my reaction to Yellow, which I appreciate very much.
We have Yellow fans out there?
A lot of Yellow fans, yeah. And a lot of people are just surprised I didn't know it was a primary color.
I think in your heart of hearts you knew.
I didn't, though.
Really?
To me...
You would have said blue?
Red, blue, green would be like the primaries, but I think I'm just used to RGB, like monitors and that kind of thing. Like, RGB is how it matters. But Scott asking, got interested through watching your channel, wanted to read the rules. Are they anywhere online? I'm sure they are. Somewhere. Maybe not. So, but they will be on release.
That's actually a great question. I found this. That's why I pulled out my phone a minute ago. I wasn't just checking a text message. I found a link to the webpage that was like the most recent rules. And then I was looking for that, so I'm going to find that really quick.
Okay.
We were playing from a document that's a little bit older, so some of the stuff has actually changed and clarified a little bit.
Cool.
But let's see if I can find that.
Paul DeStefano, will a representative from Stoneblade be present at Gamma? The answer there given was yes. Justin and at least one other member of the team will be at Gamma with physical decks and probably showing off, scanning decks into the website at Gamma.
Next level.
That's exciting. Tobias Getz says, is there going to be an actual better online component than Tabletop Simulator? If you listen to that interview we did with Justin on the podcast, the stated goal/intent is to do an actual digital client. Obviously, with this having been a digital game as SolForge, a lot of that technology is already built, I imagine. So getting that to sync with scanned decks and then getting the actual gameplay should be a short putt. As compared to Keyforge would have to build it all from scratch. But SolForge already has, at least I hope, the code and programming that was running the digital form of the game. And I imagine that's a pretty easy move. Can you play SolForge solo on TTS? I don't think so. I haven't tried the TTS mod, but I don't believe so, no. But apparently that's being worked on, according to somebody from Stoneblade, so that's great. And we got a link to the rules here as well, and it looks like you posted a link as well. Did you?
I didn't post a link, but the link did get posted, and I will post it because
just in case go ahead and post it because I think YouTube strips the links.
Yeah, these are the updated rules. Some good questions coming in too.
Michael Nicholson, if one subscribes, gets their decks, and then realizes like that, Zach, they want more, will you be offering other opportunities for this deal or others? So I can field that, at least to the best of my knowledge, of course. Which is basically, it's going to function like any subscription of ours is going to function. So we're going to get supply that's going to satisfy the demand that we have for subs. But inevitably, some of those subs will be failed payments or will not go through. And then any excess stock that's left over from that process will go up on our website for sale. So there will be a limited amount of boxes available. As to the availability of these things on other retailers or other online places, we don't know that information. But I imagine they might be in other places too if you miss your subscription charge.
Yeah, and then also it's, who knows how this thing's all going to go out. The next couple of months are going to be critical for SolForge in general. But like early days of Keyforge, in any case, Keyforge popped real hard when it came out. But there is a finite amount of stuff getting printed. So I don't know what the print policies are or how often reprints are going to happen or not.
Didn't Keyforge run out of Archons at the
quickly.
start?
Yeah, it was just gone.
Immediately.
So, we'll see how it goes. But what I will say is that subscribing does mean that you're going to get the product and you're going to get the exclusive that comes with it. And that's guaranteed. So past that, if it's available for us to stock and people are buying it, we'll keep it in stock, etc. And if not, then we'll do the best that we can and go from there.
Terrence asking about add-on playmats. So we are looking at stocking the starter bundle of some kind with probably 2 playmats and then 2 starter decks, enough for 2 people to start playing. Or maybe we'll separate it out, 1 playmat, 1 starter deck. We had looked at maybe offering D10s as well, but we're not sure if people are going to actually be looking to do the D10 tracking like we are, or if you guys are going to come up with other solutions which might work So we will wait and see on that. But at least the playmats and the starters. And then we've got a new local store. Speaking of local stores, thank you so much, Rafe.
We're working on it. It's exciting.
That is a week away.
Rafe's really excited about this game. He's just like, got that.
Rafe crushed. How many games of SolForge digitally did you probably play in your life?
1,000.
Thousands of games of SolForge. Rafe played. He was so ecstatic.
I remember Stoneblade sent us like a preview copy because we wanted to play it to see if we were into it, and he handed me the box from them, and he's like, "Oh, you got this box." I was like, "Cool." And as he's walking away, or he asked me and then was walking away. He's like, "Oh, like it looks like it's from someone cool." And then I was like, "Oh yeah, it's this game called SolForge." And he like stopped, pivoted back around, and then we had like an hour-long conversation immediately because his excitement just like went to the roof.
Yeah, it's a big part of his life. He and D-Rod and that whole crew was doing it.
I didn't mean D-Rod, 3.0.
Yeah, talking about 3.0, just because we are adding a limited cocktail menu to the third iteration of our retail store. So we are doing all of the training that requires, which is making sure that the drinks are phenomenal and giving all of the people that are going to be making those drinks as much practice as possible as we get to that moment of launch. And so Zach and I are here doing the hard work of taste testing.
That's right. We thought
Mostly
after a successful launch of SolForge on our website, we'd cheers.
Yeah. Cheers to all of you.
And to everyone.
Thank you so much for all the support and for even just being here watching the videos. If you're not subscribing or not willing to back the game or into it, totally fine. We're happy to have you here nonetheless. Enjoy yourselves.
Yeah. And I will say, when we launched that starter bundle, the starter product
I like that drink.
Comes with 4 of the decks, right? Which you can combine in a number of ways, one from each faction. But like if you're wanting to try it and not necessarily wanting to jump in on, I want to subscribe to get a bunch of stuff all the time, that'll be a great place to start as well.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. You ready to dive into this thing?
I would love
to play
more than anything. Yeah, let's. And you know what's funny? So we come into these streams and like a lot of times, like with Fab yesterday, I was like, I gotta like make sure I have my Bolton deck built and like make sure I got all the right cards and the binders are here and all of that. Which collectible games they have pluses and minuses. One of the minuses is you got to do all that work beforehand. Mm-hmm. I came to the stream today and I was like, do I have the? And it's like, oh wait, yeah, I just grabbed 2 decks.
We literally have.
And I was like, do I remember how to play? And it's like, oh yeah, it's really easy. And so here we go. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's dive right in here.
Here's what I'm planning on doing. Last week I played this red deck and this green deck together. So this was the.
And we don't look at them ahead of time yet, but we're going to do that at the end of the stream.
My green deck was the Wardens of Stuffing, just for awareness. And my red deck was the Experts of Frost Charisma. So what I want to do today, I really love red and green. So I'm going to play this other red deck here called the Preservers of the Apprentice.
You just can't stay away, right? I mean, I'm going to probably play that blue deck as well.
And then I want to try out purple. So I'm going to play the Scavenging Troop.
Okay.
As my other deck. So it's as simple as this, right? And to your point, we have our cocktails, necessary step 1.
Of course.
Then we have our playmats ready and our dice ready and stuff. Pick your 2 decks. Oh, I haven't even seen this. This Nyx Nekia, the main character from this deck. I didn't even know she existed as a...
Do you have those Forgeborn, Bryce? The Nyx Nekia?
Yep.
And do we have the different versions, I guess, don't we? Or are there multiple versions that we have? Is that the right one? That looks like the right one.
It looks approximately accurate.
Great question from Aaron Clark. I love this question. I'm so happy you're locked in enough to actually care about the answer. Ask, would you be doing a 3.0 of the store if we didn't have the pandemic? Was it part of the plan for a while, or did that evolve from having the close in-person play for so long? It's actually a funny story.
Yeah, so 3.0 local was always part of the plan. I remember way back, we had a meeting. We were incorporated as a business meeting. We've been operating about a year, kind of, as a, what do you even call that?
Fly-by-night bunch of dudes.
No, they call it a sole proprietorship.
Sole proprietorship,
there it is.
Yeah. Oops.
And then...
Got that wrong.
And then it was like, okay, we need to get real about this. And so we got incorporated and we had a meeting at Starbucks over on 71st and Riverside.
Yeah, as successful business people do. You go to the Starbucks, right. You pull your laptop out.
Get a triple shot caramel latte frappa mocha orange frappuccino. Anyways,
it was a very well done parody, actually.
On that not on the movie. Immediately went to Zoolander because they have the... Anyways, not getting derailed. We're coming back to the topic. We're having the meeting, and I remember at the time talking about one of the things we were frustrated with a lot of things about the industry at the time.
Frustrated a lot of things at the time.
Yeah, and one of the things that we really wanted to change, and hopefully we were going to change at some point in the future, was the local environment. That was, and I remember Jason being like, retail's tough. Like,
yeah,
are you sure? Are we sure we'd ever really want to do that?
Turns out he was right.
And so really the story of the saga is a lot of work to get to the point where we could do 3.0. Even 2015, we went to 2.0. By 2016, it was like, this is not what we want it to be. So how can we actually build what we want to build? And we knew we had to be more successful, actually, before we could even afford to do the thing we wanted to do. Cue the end of 2019, finally got to the point where we felt, reasonably comfortable enough to invest in that kind of an effort. And there was a lot of stuff that had to get fixed in the meantime, like people getting paid a reasonable amount, et cetera. But heading into 2020, it was like, this is the year of the local store, finally. 5 years later, we're going to do 3.0 the way we've wanted to always do it. And we were, you guys in marketing did a great research project, and we were queuing up, we have a lot of assumptions, let's test this stuff, and how are we going to do this? Then the pandemic hit, and everything changed. But I will say the thing that probably changed the most about 3.0 post-pandemic wasn't really our desire to do it or what we were trying to achieve with it, but a complete pivot of the business to the 5 days a week of streaming, all that kind of stuff. It was really scary for a couple months because all the publishers stopped producing stuff. We didn't know what that meant. Well, we had those early conversations about what's the minimum we can pay everyone and know they can get paid for a certain amount of time to pay their bills, and then we're out of money and we have to just close, right? Well, proper close, actually over. It was a bizarro moment in time, honestly. But all that to say, then the support we've received since then, when all that was going on, through all the streams and all the content and all the publishers we started working with and stuff, has been tremendous. And what that's allowed us to do is spend more time and have more time and energy and resources to actually invest in it. It's beyond anything.
Buy land.
Yeah, we own land.
I mean, we went into it thinking it was another leasing, a glorified strip mall situation, hopefully better. But being able to actually buy and build is something that opened up for us because of all that support. So we're on cloud 9 right now. Yeah, honestly.
It's
been a totally different world for us the past year.
Tremendous. So that's really all that changed with 3.0. It's just we have more time, and now we have more resources to do it, and we're doing it in a way that is beyond anything I ever thought we'd be capable of, but also everything we kind of ever dreamed of. So it's exciting.
I'm playing Nova, the detachment the detachment of the Ancient. I don't know if you have them differentiated over there, Bryce.
What color is your hero?
It's green.
Okay.
I actually am very partial to green. I think I would have played blue-green in Magic.
It makes sense.
Big creatures, fundies. Yeah, and I like nature as well. And then also blue. Blue is a pretty cancel-y, I think, in Magic, which I'm not into as much, but...
Is it?
Yeah.
Blue's cancels?
It's like a control-y, card draw, cancel-y.
What's black?
Kind of undead, recursion,
red's
zombies.
Aggro.
Yeah, red's aggro and
white
direct damage.
Protection and magic
shields.
And
yeah.
I played a white little hitters deck.
Yeah.
The idea was I can have 5 1s up before you get your first card.
Yeah, little tiny stuff out. Yeah, and protect them with shields.
Yeah.
Phenomonic says, I'm sorry if this has been mentioned, but with the new store, do you plan on it being for local folks, or do you have an idea of how many events you would encourage people to travel for? So
a lot, at least once a month. I'll give you the short answer.
Yeah, of course it's for the local environment, right? But to us, one of my favorite parts of tabletop is
even Steven.
All the people you meet and traveling and participating in events and having a more global community perspective. So all that to say, we want to have a lot of events that are worth coming to, regardless of what you're playing. So hopefully it's not going to, every event we host that would be worth traveling for, most people aren't going to play every game, right? But at the same time, cool stuff for SolForge all the way to, I almost said something I shouldn't have said.
It should be awesome.
Fab. All kinds of stuff.
Regardless of what you play, you should feel like you're in an amazing space. I was going to say, Magic Moose Moo cracking me up here on the comment. Green is weak. It's a secondary color. Inferior to yellow.
I'm playing Nyx, by the way. He's just attacking you with your color preferences.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Right, but I attacked the world by hating yellow effectively.
So you saw his deck build very quickly.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna read these abilities real quick so I
just
understand
chose
where
the
I'm
one
heading.
that I looked cooler. Nova looks awesome.
Yeah, I love it. She's like a dark prism, light,
Oh, it's like a
type
dark
character.
prism. Yeah, totally.
Her level 2 ability is Dark Summoning. Play a zombie brute minion. We'll figure out what that does later. Number 3 is Army of the Damned. Play up to 2 zombies. Cool. The last one is called Soul Rip. Destroy one of your creatures to play a creature from your hand for free, which means it doesn't take your action point.
Yeah. So this is going to be awesome. Mine over here, Nova, I've got Nova's Wrath. Give a creature +4, and if it's a minion, deal 4 damage to the opposing creature. So I'm going to want to play some minions out. Nova's Might gives your creatures +3/+3 for the all of them. They just static ability. And then Nova's Touch on the final here. Choose an enemy creature. The enemy replaces it with a Wisp minion. Creatures opposing that Wisp get Breakthrough this turn. So I morph one of your creatures into a Wisp, and then I break through that Wisp.
Breakthrough. I'm going to read all the keywords every time.
It's like overcharge damage, basically.
When it's in the front row. Yeah.
It basically, any damage it does to the Wisp goes through to any excess goes through.
The Wisp is going to be basic.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn one of your awesome things into a tiny thing and then destroy it.
I like the
pulverize it.
Totally inconspicuous red-eyed golems in the background. Do you see those guys hiding back there?
I didn't. They were too
just
inconspicuous for me. Yeah, that's pretty nice. I like that.
I dig it.
Also, a question Andy Pace here. Shane would like to ask, whoever Shane is, what excites you about this game? I feel like the RNG is out of control and I don't like RNG. Well, there's an entire conversation about unique games and why they're awesome and how the RNG is actually essentially, the model is built around this concept, right? That you have an algorithm that is randomly generating a whole bunch of things, which makes really amazing and unique play experiences happen because players aren't optimizing and pushing the limits of a card pool. So it feels like every game you're playing is balanced in the kind of way that sealed games are balanced. Mm-hmm. Sometimes somebody pulls the bomb card in sealed and it's a challenge to beat them. But then a lot of times it's just you get to play a scrappy fundamentals game of whatever the system is. And it's always like a really interesting and cool like kind of story experience that you're having. Rather than like in the Fab thing, like yesterday we were getting ready for a big event. It's like we're trying to find the best deck, and that's the whole thing. And if you're not it, which I wasn't on Bolton, you're just getting pounded the whole time. And so if that happens to you in SolForge, hey, grab 2 new decks, shuffle them together, and try again.
And the thing I really like about the design of SolForge, and it's one of the advantages of this system to Keyforge specifically, which is if you're familiar with Keyforge, you start the turn by naming a house, and you can play cards from that house. And there's no restriction on that. So if you draw 6 from the same house, you just get to play a 6-card hand.
Yeah, it really exploits that randomness.
Next turn, 6-card hand, right? You might have 2, 2, and 2, so you only get 2 cards a turn. In this game, one of the fascinating components of this, we were talking about this, I don't know if it was on stream or after last week, but you draw a 5-card hand.
The difference, yeah.
And you typically only play 2 cards a hand. So what that means, actually, is you could have half of your deck that's not really playable in a particular matchup, or maybe in general. They could just be bad cards, right?
Yeah, just somehow they're bad. Yeah. Now, they've designed them in a way that isn't the case, but you know.
Let's just say they were bad.
Yeah, hate them.
Or maybe not even bad. They're just so specific that like they're not really useful most of the time. Mm-hmm. Not generic. Like in a sealed pool, you want a lot of generically good value. And your deck might actually be fine. Like you have to understand what cards are worth playing and when, but then it's cool because like if algorithmically they make 20% of the cards in every deck more situational, then it's a tool when it is applicable, and otherwise it's just it's a card you don't play. So because you don't play out your hand every time, it actually has a weird like balancing reality to mitigate the RNG that's actually happening.
Love it.
Speaking of RNG, would you like to go first or second? I'll let you have the choice.
I just rolled. I went first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll deactivate. We have our cards here so we can zoom in on. That board looks great job. It looks way better up there.
Thanks. Yeah. We went ahead and just solidified things. So we'll keep our Forge board here and our Forge card here as well to kind of clean up the board, give you guys a better view. Also, Bryce, can you give me the 3 of on Swamp Moss Lurker?
Also, Ray, I need to answer. He's asked this several times. Can you combine 2 decks with the same here? So technically, according to the organized play rules, no. I don't think it's gonna be allowed in tournaments. But when you're just playing, you can do whatever you want.
Go ahead. Yeah, so this is a cool. We've implemented this for the stream for the production. So we've got slates of all of the creatures from level 1 to 3 in these decks, and so you can quickly. And this is what Zach was speaking to, right? like your deck is going to have some hits in it. And so let's look at all the level 3 cards and say like, this is what I want to build up to as I'm evolving my deck as I play. And so like Swamp Moss Lurker is an example of a card that might be a key card for you where you're starting to build this card up, looking for other decks that have health gain in them. And then that's going to allow you to kind of play this line. So there's just so much potential for within the randomness of a deck and the cards within that deck. The choices you're making for, I like these cards, the way that they've been built, I'm going to upgrade those cards over the course of the game and come out with a level 3 like board that looks like this. You have just a lot of control there. So it helps a lot to make that a skill decision rather than a just play the cards in your hand decision.
Zach McGough saying it's a great improvement to show all those cards at once.
Yeah, thanks. That's what we're looking to do.
D-Rod, what up? Saying it's a trap. Whenever Zach asks you if you want to go first or second.
What's up, D-Rod? D-Rod played a ton of this game too, as I understand.
Yeah, he was Rafe's buddy.
Okay, so I'm going first.
Prepare to lose.
That means that my cards go to the top row, which means they can attack. They will be attacking that turn. Your cards will be going to the back row.
Unless they're aggressive.
Aggressive means that they come in on the top row.
Keyword.
So, for instance, I have this Raging Amoeba, for instance. Now, this card is not going to be good on my first turn because aggressive, I'm already getting the benefit of aggressive. So, I'm immediately not wanting to play this card.
But note,
it would be stronger on the second time it comes through.
And because of we reshuffle our decks after every 3 turns. On the second cycle, you're going to be going second
1, 2, 3,
twice.
Yeah, true.
So on your second cycle, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of
the
weird depth
Amoeba
here.
level 2 becomes awesome. So let's just start. Let's look at the Amoeba level 2.
Yeah, there we go. Come on now.
Oh my gosh. It turns from a 3/4 into a 9/11.
So it pays, right? But this is also when you start getting into like really understanding your decks. If I was going first, your second cycle, you're only going to be going second once.
Mm-hmm.
So the value of having this in your deck, right? Statistically, you're unlikely to hit it on a turn that is going to be super powerful. So this is the kind of card that you go first on the first cycle and you play it. You don't, you do, and like you can go either direction with that, right? What's the third one look like?
The third one, not terribly important, a 10/13. So the second form of this creature is where the money's at.
Yeah, the value jump is huge. Goes to 11 health. Are you kidding me?
But like playing it, but I want to play it on the second cycle. But then I'm going to have this, which is fine, but it's still just a 10/13.
Yeah.
It's amazing to think about what the game actually does. I just can't believe it. Honestly, it's really starting to hit me. Okay, second, Devouring Necromancer. This is This is a creature that is a similar kind of problem. It upgrades a level 1 card in my discard pile. I won't have a discard pile until a ways through our play, right? So, do you play it now and then gain access to that ability as a level 2? Do you hold this and play it as a weaker level 1 later on in the turns, etc., etc.? Then you have the Swamp Moss Lurker. If you have more than 50, it's free. You want to get that ability, but you could also look in your deck and say, do I have any healing in here that's going to get this to level 2 for free, etc., etc.?
And the level 2 and 3 of that, it was like level 2 if you have more than 40 life.
Yeah, let me see the level 2 of this.
And then level 3 was really crazy.
So like, exactly. So more than 40 life, it's free and it's a 6/8. So you could get to a game state where my first cycle is all about defending and making sure I'm at 40 or higher. Play the Swamp Moss Lurker so that the second cycle through, I'm going to be able to get that for free, which is a huge tempo advantage.
Yeah. And the level 3 was even crazier, I remember.
Let's look at you got the spread of the Swamp Mosses
Yeah, they are.
What does the level 3 look like?
Yeah. So I saw level 3 and it's like, oh, this is, and again.
Attack equal to health, so your entire game plan is about this end game.
Yeah.
But then if you have my ability, you just turn into a wisp and it's done. So
Watch out. But
Watch out.
You can see my ability though, right?
yes.
You know that I don't have that ability.
Yeah. Amazing. Cool. Then we also have, just looking at plays here, a Feral
sure.
Instinct. Give a creature +3 and then give it 3 in Breakthrough for that turn. If it deals damage to a player this turn, play a Wisp minion. This is a really good combo to come through with my aggressive Amoeba. This can be a really good spell for that. And then Grave Pact. Destroy one of your creatures to give a creature -8/8.
-8.
This is level 1.
Really?
-8/8.
That's not fun for me.
So I've got decisions, man.
You can nuke me. But I'm going second. So.
That Amoeba plan is a good plan.
Yeah, you like it. You like the stock.
But I just don't like it because right now it's not good.
Richard saying, hey, I haven't even missed the game start yet. Was hoping to catch it after I watched the first stream and backed the game. Well, this is a good place to be. This game, the rules are very simple. The depth is not high. It's not low either. Low sounds negative. There's a lot of depth here. So hopefully you can hang out.
And anything I don't play here, I lose until the second cycle. That's a devastating thing, right?
Torres88, what's up? Saying, what else
game's
is
a
there to do
fascinating game.
around Tulsa? Because I'm going to have to pitch this to my fiance when I want to visit 3.0 at some point in the future. Highlights for me of Tulsa.
Hodge has been.
Food and drink is great.
Right.
The time of year is going to be relevant. Spring and fall, fantastic. Lots of, like the gathering place is cool. Guthrie Green is cool. Lots of places to be outside and hike and that kind of stuff. Not like hiking through the mountains in California. It's not that good. But there's cool places to be. The people are also super friendly. Socially, there's a lot of stuff too. It depends on what she's into. That would be my first question, actually.
Okay, I'm going with a plan. I don't know lane-based why I would do things a certain way. I'm sure there's a reason, but I'm going to go Raging Amoeba. Going to go into my level 2 version discard pile over there. Playing the level 1 Raging Amoeba. Here we go. It's a 3/4 coming at you.
He's raging. Okay, let's look at my hand. Ooh, I like that. How much are you attacking for? 3? 4 life, eh? It's a good number for you.
Kind of the standard number. Swamp Moss has got 6.
I'm going to read Activate real quick.
You say Bob Dylan Museum? Did you say that?
I didn't, but it's...
Woody Guthrie.
There is a Bob Dylan one, though, right?
No, I think it's only Woody Guthrie.
I'm pretty sure there's not Bob Dylan
There's a
one.
new Dylan?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, he's not from here, is he?
I don't think so.
Yeah, a museum to just some other guy? Some guy? I mean, he's not some guy, clearly, but...
Okay.
What else is new in Tulsa? There's some good restaurants that come through. Gathering Place. You got to go to the Gathering Place. Kind of the name kind of compels you.
Yeah. I think it's also
downtown.
a relatively safe place.
Yeah.
So like you can kind of just like walk about.
Valkyrie's
various
kind of
places.
coming around. The first...
Coming back into coolness?
No. First Fridays still happening, right? It's First Fridays, I think, when all the museums are free
all
downtown.
the art and stuff. Yeah. That is cool. That's worth.
It's super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
The
you know,
Mercury Lounge, it's great shows there.
if the people working on the event schedule over at 3.0 are clever, it would be smart on the out of town potential things to have them align with certain other
So
cultural.
like first, you could go downtown for free museums, and then
on
come
Friday
to
and
a
Saturday we hang
event.
out.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna play an unstable spell knight.
You're gonna play it in the wrong spot.
Let me find my stage 2. All right. He plays in the back row. He has an activate ability, which is just exhaust to use it. If I have played a spell this turn, he gets +2 attack.
I couldn't mark him up.
Yeah. He also has a passive effect. When he loses life, deal 1 damage to each enemy creature.
Okay.
Watch yourself.
Nice. And a lot of people asking if this is the most effective way to do this. We have no idea. But the D10s came with the set that we got, and I like having an easy reference point to just see clearly 1/6, because the values change often enough in the game that it's like it's relevant to know that. Are we in focus, dude? Let's make sure.
Andre saying the Bob Dylan Center opens in May.
Awesome.
Yeah, I knew that was the thing.
Yeah, focused up quite nicely, actually. Okay, well here I'm gonna establish my strategy right now, and I'm gonna see if you have an answer to this.
All right, let's go.
Okay, so I'm gonna play Feral Instinct. It's gonna give a creature +3.
Okay.
It's gonna be 6. And then this turn is gonna have 3 armor. Let's just get some dice out here. And breakthrough. But now the key thing here, if it deals damage to you this turn, I can play a Wisp minion essentially for free.
Deals damage to me as a
Yes.
person.
And it does have breakthrough. So unless you have a higher than 6 health soak, or a 6 health soak would do, you're going to be in trouble. So I'm just going to put this down here so we remember it. Let's get these nice ivory dice. And I can tell from how distraught you look that I'm pleased with my decision.
And that's your second action.
That's it. Yeah.
This is what you're doing.
And I'm going to go get my second Ferret Lancing. You better watch out, because if I get this on old aggressive Amoeba turn 2, you're done for. Feral Instinct. Oh, level 2. Oh, that's level 3 Feral Instinct. It's like, it's so good.
Okay. Well,
game's already deep.
I'm going to play Stone Skin.
Oh my god.
Yeah, hold on, let me grab the upgrade before I forget. All right, don't worry about it. It says, give one of my creatures +5. Okay, step 1.
Good answer.
Battle an enemy creature. So I'm going to have him battle your creature. You have 3 armor, so you're going to take 3.
Yeah.
I'm going to take 6. When he loses life, 1 damage to all of your creatures.
So that's gonna kill them.
I'm basically doing 7 to you, you're doing 6 to me.
Yeah, right on.
And that's going to go to the banish zone.
Well, we had a little tit for tat there, didn't we?
Just clearing the upgrading cards and clearing the board. We escaped the turn without taking damage.
Oh, these are my other cards. Okay. All right.
I'm done. I'm at the end of the turn. You
Also
good?
done. Yeah.
All right, so no combat results because it's gone. You discard every card in your hand.
Here, yeah.
Draw 5. And the forge is going to pass to me. All right. Ooh-wee. He's good. Purple's mean. Holy smoke-a-roly.
That is like one of your signature phrases. Do you know that?
Holy macaroli?
Holy smoke-a-roly or macaroli or cinnaroli or
that will boom.
You just pulled that one out of the ether. That was just you deciding that you wanted to be that guy. I'm the Waboom guy.
Hey, Waboom, I found, is actually from comic books. They'll be like, someone will get punched and it says Waboom.
Yeah. Well.
That seems really annoying.
Probably is.
Oh, tough. Okay, I'm going to play the Ossuary Mech. When he's destroyed, I can upgrade a level 1 card in my discard pile.
That's horrible. I can't destroy that.
It's too much value. Steven can't give someone value. It doesn't function in his brain.
Activations are essentially free, right?
Yeah.
Oh, look.
Mike asking if we've ever played Unmatched. We have. I'm a huge fan of Epic Duels, the board game. That was a big game in my childhood. And that game's great.
Dude, check this out. Look, I found a card, right? So Vyric's Embrace, deal 4 to a creature, gain 4 life. Combo that with a dinosaur. That's a free card first turn right there. Woo!
Yeah, the deck's
Hot sauce bar.
almost singing. Yeah, that's another one of my sayings right there.
That comes from the deep memory.
Yeah.
Okay, and now I'm actually playing the game better than ever.
Good luck proving it.
What does stealth do? You can't.
It sneaks by, you know?
Yeah.
Stuff in the...
But stealth and defender together is like the devastatingly bad combo.
Stealth. During combat, treat this creature as unopposed if the opposing creature is in the back row.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. But if it's a defender, it never attacks in the front row.
That's right. So then stealth would never apply.
Yeah. Tell Justin to check that algorithm. Or maybe it's on purpose. I don't know. Okay. Okay. How about this? How about... Oh, I've got to decide what my late game is, though, don't I? It's all about that board presence, isn't it?
I'm all about the late game.
Okay. I'm going to play... I don't know why I'm playing it here, but I'm going to play it here.
Just got a feeling.
I'm going to play the Shroudthorn Splicer level 1. It has a deploy ability that I may activate, and I'm choosing not to, because it can replace a creature with an Oak Father minion. But for now, it's not going to do that.
Sudo was saying, you guys got the thing printed with the old algorithm. The correct one is being used for the real cards.
Oh, great. Perfect. Yeah, so like our testing sets, it sounds like the algorithm has been changed since these decks were printed.
Gotcha.
So Defender and Stealth probably not appearing together. Okay, very nice.
All right, so over to me.
We did actually notice that, Scowdo, that the flavor text is all haikus.
Very cool. I'm going to play the Arrogant Breaker. And he says, deploy, give another creature +6. So I'm just going to put this up to a 10.
That's interesting.
And then, but he's only got 1 life, so he's kind of a weakling. Like Palpatine. I'm too weak. We will upgrade Mr. Arrogant. He says pronounce shadow.
Shadow, perfect. I thought it was like a scatting noise, like scadow. This is annoying. This here, I gotta kill it, right?
Yeah, you got to.
Then you got we got the problem.
And forcing the value to occur.
We got the problem.
It's quite fun.
We got the problems.
Shadow saying Breaker here. It gives its strength to another creature. That's what so it's Arrogant Breaker, right? So the Breaker gives its strength to someone else. Arrogant is an ability that adds a ton of attack. So that's actually a nice combo.
Is sick.
So like a Stealth Breaker might only have like 2 or 3 strength, but it would give its strength to someone else as well.
Okay, well, you know what? I might just have to... that free upgrade is so bad. I hate it so much.
Hold on, let me just get all my level 1 stuff together. That way it's easier for me to choose.
I hate it.
To choose when I'm upgrading.
There's no clever way to do this, right? There's no clever way to do this. I had to have done this better or differently. Okay, let's play the Everflow Eidolon. It's gonna have 2 armor coming in. It's gonna come in as a 2/5.
Shadow saying Necreum likes to upgrade from the discard pile. Aloyan, the blue, likes to upgrade from hand, which is cool.
I'm going to activate ability here. Give your other creatures in the back row +2.
Come on now.
And then I'm done. I'm going to get this guy out of here.
All right, so combat's going to resolve. It happens simultaneously, technically. So I'm doing 6 to you. You're doing 2 to me, so I'm going to go away.
2 armor and then go down to 1.
You're going to take 10.
Yeah, that's true.
We like the stock, and I'm going to do...
What do we have? Like,
I'm going to do D6s.
Do we do D20s or D6s?
Either way, but I'll just do rows of these here.
You want a board? You want a fab board?
How many? Can we get 50 in there?
We can get 40.
We get 48.
Well, 6 times, yes. How many slots are on here?
I'll take a board. Let's just see what happens.
6 times 8, that's 48. That's right.
And I'll put a little 2 next to it. You don't need... I already did 10 to you, so you're fine. Got him.
He's playing that early game garbage. There you go.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I'm at 40. All right, easy. Just take 5 here.
Can you see that? Where's that? Yeah, you can see it, I think.
I like the sound of the dice going in the boards.
That's nice.
Certain greatness to that. Okay, and then we slide them up.
Yeah, this thing goes away.
Slap them up, boys. Slide them up. Okay.
Discard cards.
That's right.
Forge passes over to you.
Or rather, banish the cards, right? No, they discard. That's right.
Draw 5.
It's the last of the cycle. Boy, do I love the Venerable Creeper. And I'm the shooter now, right? I'm your shooter.
What? Oh. What?
I'm playing in the back row, is that right? Oh, but I've got such a good play for now.
No, you're playing in the front row.
Oh, right, all right. Ah! Playing in the front row, aren't I?
Oh, yeah. He's a defender.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And he stays in the front. He doesn't move back just because I'm
No, yeah. What are you thinking? 5, 7. So, all right. So this thing's got to go.
This thing?
Yeah.
Now, there's something to think about. If you destroy him next turn, I won't have a discard pile.
Yeah.
That's how you get me to not get value.
I'm with it.
But if I destroy him for you...
We acceptable. I could give you the opportunity to do that. Camouflage, more structural fortune. I'm gonna make a dumb big board. Okay. I like those dumb boards. Let's play a look at it. This is one of my favorite cards, right? Camouflaged War Tusk. The art on this is actually phenomenal. 4/7 stealth. Murderous Mammoths. 4/7 stealth on this turn is sick. To use a term that the kids are into.
7 health, eh? Okay, cool.
Let's just put the 4/7 there for easy keeping. There's kind of a... We talked about this with... what was the other game that people weren't certain about? Oh, Marvel Champions, the components we made where there was a more... You were doing a little more management to keep the board clear rather than using the dials. There's kind of a ceremony to placing the dice on the cards and upgrading everything. I like it, but I'm old-fashioned. I'm a romantic.
I think it's less fiddly, same with upgrading the cards, than people would think it is. Especially given how just so uncomplex the entire game execution is.
It's so simple at its core, yeah.
Yeah. Well...
And like I said, call me old-fashioned. I like to hold, I'm playing D&D. I'm fiddling with the dice the whole time. It's kind of nice.
I am going to play a Soul Reap. Deal 3 damage to a creature. We'll do 3 there. I gain 3 life. Then, check this out. If you have a beast in play, I do not. But if I did, I would deal 3 damage to a player and then gain 3 life. So that card, Crazy.
So stealth is just they're not destroyed in the back row.
Stealth?
Yeah. Or they're not, they can't block if they're in the back row.
Yeah, it just tops over them in the back row.
But the front row can still block them.
Yeah. It's like if you put a stealth thing here, I would still block.
I don't think I can just take 10 more damage. I don't know how you feel about that, but... I can't. I'm going to play a Mystical Tangle Sprout. And I'm going to activate it to give another creature +2. I'm going to go to a 6/6 here.
That plays in the... It's a defender. Wow.
Yeah, it's a defender, and it's a 3/5 there. So, unfortunately, we're just going to suck. But we're going to force you to not lose that unit, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. Okay, let's play a Chaining Giant.
Yeah, Tobias and John saying they're only going to put dice on cards they need adjusted values. I would encourage you to at least be open to the idea that you won't be doing that. We started that way.
Yeah, I think the main thing is that it's not super common, and Keyforges was common, where a creature just goes from in play to out of play all at once. But there's a lot of times when those values get adjusted. And so going ahead and just putting the dice there on the right thing is almost faster than not doing it. Tokens also don't really do much work because, like, do you have a token that's a 2, a 3, a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then like you have to switch for specific tokens, this whole thing. Anyways, Chaining Giant, deploy if you have played a spell this turn. Oh, I have. Cool. You may play a level 1 spell for free.
Oh, come on.
We're going to play Virix Embrace.
Nice.
Do 4 damage to a creature. I'll do 4 here.
Cool.
I
buffed him.
I gained 4 life. Yeah.
You were like, oh, my plan.
My plan was to put this guy here and then nuke that thing. And
Very
then
nice.
now I'm feeling real good about myself. But then you had to stop it.
Yeah. You had some good plays.
All right. End of turn. Combat resolves.
Take 4.
Yeah. Gone.
This thing's dead. You take 3.
Down to 1. I do 2.
You do 2, and then you take 6. Trade them up.
He gone. Okay, we discard. That was the 3rd cycle. It should be 5 cards left in your deck at this moment. Just verify if that's accurate.
Correct.
Should be 15 in your discard pile. You should have a 20 card deck.
Stands to reason, etc., etc. Yeah. And these guys get shoveled back into the pile. And here we go. How exciting. And then you start as the Forge player, right?
Yep. Cycle 2. I'm also gonna. Can you hand me like a resource token? I'm gonna basically just mark this on next that I can play this thing. What's your ability at this stage?
Give a creature +4, and if it's a minion, deal 4 to an opposing creature. So I need to get some minions on the board. And I have ways to do that. Nice, Frank. Yeah, that's cool. You could definitely use those Ashes compatible exhaustion tokens, yeah. They're beautiful too, as an aside. You can make any token do anything also. Beauty tokens. So this is my turn to kill this 10 attack nonsense unit.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Let's play a Summoning Worm. I may play a Spell Sprite minion, so we will play him there. Already.
This game is absolutely fascinating.
Yes.
Oh man.
You'd love to see it.
I mean, it happened, right? Like the whole thing that I was planning to do has happened. What's your ability? Play a minion?
Play a zombie. Mm-hmm.
What kind of things are in your hand? Oh my gosh. Alright, let's go Raging Amoeba level 2. Aggressive, taking on your mech here. Go get the level 3.
Gonna need to find a damage somewhere.
Friend of the show, Brendan Patrick of Arsenal Pass, Flesh and Blood fame. Also seemingly a big fan of SolForge Fusion.
Yep.
Bad at it, of course.
Yeah, obviously.
But
let's play a Burnout. I may play a Spell Sprite minion. Cool. Give your creatures +2 attack across the board.
all of them.
All of them. Let's go.
Well, that seems better than what I'm doing.
Well, sometimes you just play better cards than your opponent and you win. That's what I like to do.
The real question is, do you do this for 11 or do you do a 10 and a 1? I'm going to do that for 11. I like that.
This one goes to 11.
Okay, so
An AoE would be a bummer here, though.
that's a thing, right, that happens?
It's apparently.
I'm gonna have to make a bet here.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have to make a bet. I hate being the first player.
You're the second player.
That's right. So you're done.
You hate being the first player next turn?
Did you play? What'd you play up front? What was your first play?
The worm that got me the Sprite.
Right.
And then I played the thing that got me a Sprite and +2.
Okay, then everything's fine. I love being the second player.
Suddenly everything's fine.
I'm going to play Feral Instinct, level 2. Literally the combo we set up in the first turn of the game. Onto the Raging Amoeba. It's going to give him +4.
Oh, no.
So we're going to go to 13. And look, I'll do this in a really nice way so you can just see the damage that's about to happen. Just make it like a nice 13 there. This turn is going to have 4 armor and breakthrough. Now check this text out. If it deals damage to a player this turn, you can play a level 1 or 2 card for free. So let's resolve combat. I'll do 4 to you. I'll take 3.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take 3 damage.
Touchdown.
Now the question is, here's a question for the rules people. Shadow out there might know this. I'm going to get to play something for free here. If I play it in a lane that's going to resolve combat.
So I think all the damage gets assigned?
I agree.
Yeah. And then the effects would happen, right?
So like the thing that I play, if it's aggressive, would it do damage this turn?
I don't think so.
Right? I don't think so either.
I don't think so.
Okay. So then we'll do our damage here. I'm going to do 1 to you.
And I'm going to do 12 to you.
You do 12 to me, so 4.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to take 8.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go to 3 health.
Then I'm going to punch you for 8.
You are. It's really a bummer.
And then you're going to get your activated ability.
And I do 12 to you from breakthrough.
Yeah. 5, 11, 12.
And then I will get to play a free.
Yeah,
Oh.
Shadow's saying you play it free after combat. Actually, if you're doing breakthrough, do you even hurt me?
As a person?
Like, I don't think we fight.
Yeah, it's what goes over your health is breakthrough. It's like Stampede or whatever.
Oh.
So I do 1 to
That's why you
you
did 12.
and then the rest
Okay,
of it.
got ya.
Yeah. As far as I remember from reading that at least.
Hold on. When I play a spell, which I did, my spell sprites get +2.
Ooh.
So this thing was doing +2 over here.
Take it.
And then I think the spell I played, yeah, he would have been in play. So you actually would have taken 2 more.
All right, I'll take 2 more.
That's so good.
Honored.
Those spell sprites are good. They're good.
Okay, so for me, so I play back row. Yeah, surely we can do 1 to you here, right? So let's play a level 2 for free. Shroudthorn Splicer. When it's deployed, I can replace a creature with an Oakfather minion.
Oh no. The minions are there. Yeah. Interesting.
Which is an 8/8. And I'm doing that primarily because I now have access to my Nova's Wrath ability on my Phoenixborn. And I assume, on the replace mechanic, do you replace it in its current position or in its back position? I think, isn't replace, you discard it and then play the new one so it comes in back? It won't matter, it'll move forward, but.
Also, you get 2 health back. I misunderstood the spell sprite. So the spell I'm playing creates this spell sprite. So it wouldn't benefit from me playing this spell.
Right on. All right, moving them up.
Yep. Discard. Forge passes. Over to you.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was a big moment for me. I feel like that evened the scales. 6/6. Okay. These guys get banished. These guys get discarded, right?
Yep. Yeah.
I got so excited on all the different things I was doing. I need to upgrade some stuff. So my Raging Amoeba's in there. I also need my level 3 pump spell in there. And that's the thing that I do like is like you can always catch if things have gone wrong, you can always catch that you need to fix your problems. Splicer comes in. Oh my gosh. I'm so ready. Huh? And the 2 I didn't play go in the dig. 5 in. Solid. So that was a good turn for me, but I'm not sure. Great. Okay. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
What's Paul is fun. I want to support the developers, but it's awkward when these TC demos show many errors. What errors are you talking about? Not great to learn mistakes and then try to unlearn them. Yeah, I mean, it's not really an error, right? It's just kind of learning the game. Next up, I'm the first player. Yeah. I am the first player. Okay. So you've got a 3-4 and an 8-1, and this 8-1 is surely easily defeatable.
You never know.
Okay. 13. You've got to deal with that problem too. +4 if it's a minion. Hmm. Two life. This deck actually has some serious plays because I'm seeing a lot of things that gain life now.
Mm-hmm.
So if I've been upgrading that life dragon, that would have been sick.
Life Dragon?
What's the life dragon called?
What is it? I can find it in here. Not a dragon, but whatever it is. Swamp Moss Lurker.
Okay.
So I've seen a lot of cards in my stack that actually are gaining me health too. So that's where I can imagine, like, if you have one side of the deck that's the Swamp Moss, then you have another deck that's all healing, it would be so good.
And you're just trying to not take damage.
It'd be so good.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, Shroud Splicer does not sack itself at level 2. Dragon Fox. The differences in level 1, level 2, level 3 is it's similar to Arkham, where it like turns from a normal action to a fast action. You're like, I don't understand the difference. And you're like, oh,
I do understand.
The word, that one word is different. I like J.K. Rowling's here saying I've liked that too about the game. It's fairly easy to figure out the correct board/deck state, which is nice. Okay, let's play a game. I think this is acceptable. Let's play our level 2 Mystical Tingle Sprite here as a defender. It is a 5/7 coming in, and then it has an activate, gives something +2/+2. Do I want to try to protect my 13? That's too many eggs in that basket. Can you do 5 damage? Right? Surely. Let's give it to the Oak Father here, so it's going to go to a 10/10. With Breakthrough, that seems pretty good. That's a 5/7 there.
All right, I'm gonna play. How do I do that? Yeah. Let's play the level 2 Ossuary Mech.
You're so incentivized to put those level 2 cards. It's crazy.
When it's destroyed, I can upgrade any card in my discard pile.
Huh. Be a good time to destroy that right now, wouldn't it? You got a 6/6 on a 7/7.
It would not be a good time to destroy it. He now lets me upgrade any card in my deck. Or any card in my...
In your stack, yeah. Probably should have waited on that activate ability to see what you did. But I was worried you were going to kill it.
That is the
It
balance.
ain't easy, is it?
Is that true? Shadow's saying you banish the level 3 cards. Deck state gets weird at level 4.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's a really interesting decision, though.
So if you play a level 3, it's a one-time thing.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Keep it on the board. Okay, so that thing's going to die anyway. Okay. Mindless. It's Let's make sure I've got these right.
Right.
Oh boy, oh boy. You think you're ahead or behind?
Neither.
All right, I'm willing to do this. Oh, this one's for me. Let's play a Soothing Basher there. When it deploys, it's level 1. When it deploys, I'll gain 2 life. And then Breakthrough, so it will do damage beyond the damage.
That's nice.
Yeah. I'll change this to a proper 13. You know what I'll actually do? Is I'll get a bunch of D10s because we've got them. That's crazy. So Shadow just lit the chat up. Everyone's like, wait, you do banish level 3 cards? What the heck?
Yep. That reminds me of like in Star Wars TCG. At some point we figured out that at the start of the first turn you draw a card, which we weren't doing originally. Because you do the build phase, you remember? And then
Yeah.
The first player gets to draw a card, and it's like, wait a second, that's totally different.
Yeah,
Decision
there's
time.
old D10s in here. I like these, bro. These come from a D&D world from long ago.
I do like that.
Remember our science teacher? Remember Mr. Anderson? Do you have Mr. Anderson?
Oh yeah, it's one of my favorites.
So he did an experiment we were doing as like in science class, and he had D20s. He was like,
Really?
we're going to do a randomization experiment. And I was like, oh my gosh, you play Dungeons & Dragons? He was like, nervous to say yes, you know?
Oh,
It's like
yeah,
conservative Chelsea, Oklahoma. But I was like, dude, I immediately knew exactly where those dice came from.
Yeah, right? It's like that. There's only one reason you have these, sir.
Yeah, exactly, right. Oh, I just happen to have some 20-sided dice I needed for an experiment.
So I'm playing this
Hey, Mr. Anderson.
Spite Maiden. Deploy. I can have her deal 5 damage to myself, which I'll do. AVD, you can play a level 1 spell for free.
Oh, you're playing a weird deck, man.
Yeah. So we're going to play the Infernal Ritual, which I'm going to get an upgrade. Destroy one of my creatures to play up to 2 mindless zombie minions. So I'm going to destroy here. Get 2 mindless zombies. They have aggressive this turn, so that's not going to matter that much. And then I played a spell, so this actually is +2 attack.
You're supposed to build up the spell sprites, right? Isn't that kind of like a deck concept? Phenomox, have you seen decks that seem obsessed with just gaining life? I mean, they could be out there, right? You could find them. You could find the ones and pair them together, and they're just about gaining life.
It's kind of nice, though, because you would eventually run out of cards.
Yeah, and also there's that sudden death thing. So, like, you know, they could get to sudden death and win, which is fine. I mean, it just depends on how the algorithm's effectively valuing health gain. If attack stats are always valued higher than health gain, there's always going to be decks out there that are faster than what health can be gained. So,
that's me. That's the end of the turn.
all right.
Resolve time?
Yeah, let's resolve them up. All right. I'm going to do 7 to you through Breakthrough.
Yep. 6, 7.
And I'm going to take 3. Five to me.
Yep. You do 5 to me.
5 back. That's right. 13, 3, dead.
We did it.
you stopped the Amoeba.
Yeah. I'm hitting for 7.
6, 6, 7, 7. Ran on.
Go down to 1. I'm hitting for 8. You're hitting for 5 with breakthrough.
5 with breakthrough. You take 4. We both die.
All right.
Cards I didn't use go to the discard pile, and I am going to count to 10. I only have 9, which makes total sense, which tells me that I missed something. And that's one of my actually favorite things about this. So I'll look through here and make sure I got my Soothing, Shroudthorn, Raging.
What up, Van? Apparently Shadow wrote the algorithm, by the way.
Whoa! What's Shadow saying?
Somebody had questions about the algorithm, and Shadow was just saying that they wrote it, so.
So nailed it. All right, let's see. We've got the Soothing Basher, Honored. Raging Amoeba, Honored. Feral Instinct, Honored. Shroudthorn, Honored. Arrogant Grey Pack, not played. Soothing Basher. Oh, it's on the board, right? Obviously. Tangle Sprout. Where is this thing? It's like, oh, it's on the board. Oh. Oh, it's still there. Whoa. All right, I got 10, and then we go. Oh, cool. Shadow saying Swamp Moss always pulls in at least 1 life gain card.
Nice.
In the algorithm. It's so cool what you can do with deck design like this. Ah. All right, and then I'm the inactive player. Is that right?
You're the inactive, yeah.
Do you like losing?
Obviously. I'm gonna play. Where did that go?
Ah, that's so good.
He wasn't ready for the self-deprecation. Okay, I'm gonna play my Unstable Spell Knight. What could go wrong? Stage 2. And he is the one that he only has 1 strength. He's a wee lad. But activate. If I played a spell this turn, I can give him +3 attack. When he loses a life, deal 2 damage to each enemy creature.
Like this one.
I mean, if he loses his life to that thing, then it won't much matter.
It won't matter, but I'm sure you could find a way to get him to lose life, right?
I don't know what you're talking about. Genuinely.
Oh, man. Well, we can solve this problem. We can solve this problem, bud.
Huh.
All right, let's play the Everflow Eidolon. Defender there in the back row. I'm going to use his activate ability. I'll even mark it. Everyone in the back row gets +3.
+3 attack.
Oops. Not ideal. Gotta read the card. So let's do 7. There. Let's do 8 here. Watch out. You better trigger that ability. I'm gonna tell you.
It says other creatures. What up?
Ah, come on.
English.
English is actually very difficult. So you want to play that guy as your second play, don't you?
Yeah.
We're still here. We'll give some armor here.
Learned.
I want to activate it, yeah. How
But
about
he's
that?
super good with defenders.
Yeah, with all these defenders, right? You can see how that would work. So I'm not going to activate that yet. I'll just wait. It's called being better than you.
All right.
You were.
Well, here's what I'm gonna do.
No, come on though.
Come on.
Let's string something together.
Level 3 Stone Skin. 1 time only. Give one of my creatures +9 strength. It may battle an enemy creature. So I am gonna have him battle this thing. I'm doing 10. I'll take 4.
You know he's got 3 armor.
That's fine. I'm doing 10.
Okay.
I'll take 4. You're like, and he says when this guy loses life, deal 2 damage to each enemy creature.
Right on. Okay. Fine.
And then this level 3 goes away.
Fine. Fine.
I was just looking to free up some dice, you know?
Yeah, I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Very helpful. So this is the end of the phase here?
You get one more. Oh, actually, I'm going to use my ability because this is the end of
you may
level
as well,
3.
right?
We're going to play...
Yeah, the one on the zombie there.
The old mindless zombie. Oh, and I'm going to activate it. If I play the spell this turn, I can get +3 attack.
Here, use this token. Don't clutter up my lanes.
I see. +3. Okay,
so now that guy's annoying.
It's like a SolForge masterpiece being formed in front of your eyes. I'm humble, too.
Oh, man.
Oh, hold on. Hold the phone. It says zombie brute minion.
Yeah, it's a bigger one.
He's beefy. That's even better.
You got the beefer boys there.
It's like the accidental masterpiece. It just came together.
He's been working on his accidental masterpiece for years. Okay, so we need to play something to block that thing.
It's getting awfully leaky in here.
That's a big body on the floor there. Okay.
Shadow saying reading is hard.
Everything's okay.
It's all gonna work out.
Everything's fine. I'm gonna be taking 7. It's fine.
You're way ahead on health, though.
I'm way ahead. Way ahead on health.
Damage is just a resource, remember.
Yeah. It's just so close. It's just so close to being good. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to activate Nova's Wrath. Give a creature +4. And then deal 4 to the minion opposing it, or to the opposing creature. Because it's a minion there. So that's on the Nova ability there. Okay, so that's going to break through for 12 damage.
Yeah, it's getting scary.
It's going to die, but it's at least going to get some dice off of your life bar. Then we've got the action, Zach. Zaction. And because we've got the action, we're going to take 7, and we're going to get rid of the threat here. Let's play a Camouflaged Wartusk level 2 back here. It's just there. I'm not going to put dice on. They're going to kill each other, so we're not going to worry about it. But I will get a level 3 Camouflaged Wartusk.
Zoom, zoom.
Who is a big old 10-12 stealthy boy. That can get really good for me. And then I'm ready for action.
Okay. We'll resolve. I'll do 6. I'll take 12.
That's right. Everybody dies.
Breakthrough's good.
You take 7, I take a bunch.
Yep.
And then I take 7.
We did it.
Discard your hand.
Yep. Should be 5 left.
Check for, yeah.
We're gonna shuffle all these back in.
I guess I'll count the small stack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Correct.
And I only have 14 because I have a gold that got banished.
Oh, yes. That could actually be good in terms of increasing consistency of seeing certain things together, maybe.
Yeah, we're going to stage 2. I mean, it's the reality that you only have 4 cycles through means that even though the golds banish themselves, it really shouldn't. Like you basically get 4 cycles, right? So you should only be able to play a card 4 times at max anyway. So the gold's going away just means there's 1 turn. You can't gold, right?
Yeah. True.
Shadow asking how I played a gold card in the 2nd cycle. It's a good question. Let's find out.
The questions that matter there, huh?
Okay. So it wouldn't have mattered. It was Stone Skin. I think I grabbed the gold one instead. So then the gold one should be in my deck.
There you go. Oh man, this is gonna be a great turn for me.
You're first.
I start out as the first player. What's up? And then Bang is Boom talking about the dice. Yeah, so this is just a flesh and blood thing that we're using. This is not an official life tracker. You could develop a playmat. You could build a playmat that had like a life thing, like the what was that old PlayFusion playmats did that? They had the tracker all the way around, etc. Oh,
Bryce like that.
Didn't you play something that upgraded a level 2 card in your discard pile, or a level 1 in your discard pile?
Well, I didn't have the level 2 over here. So I did upgrade extra cards, but I don't think I ever upgraded that to get to level 3.
So you failed. As Shadow says, we don't have a way of upgrading cards to 3 in the second cycle. The algorithm master has spoken. Oh, I don't need to see this right now. I don't need the Raging Amoeba currently. I guess that's why I don't play it right now. Okay, yeah, I'll play this. Yeah, okay, we're gonna have to play some level 1 nonsense. I don't like this.
He's got 1 health.
I know, it's so easy, right?
Just punch him.
And we're on our level 2, our next abilities, right?
What's your level 2? +3, +3.
Give all creatures of mine +3/+3. Yeah, watch out, dude.
Who printed this?
The problem is there could be bigger threats. I hate going first.
He was so excited just moments ago.
Let's put Zemus in the middle, dude. Level 1. Level 1 Zimus.
I also have Zemus in my deck.
Oh, dude, do you see? Hey, pull up all the 3. Can you pull up the 3 spread of Zemus?
Yeah, he
Look
evolves,
how awesome
dude.
that is.
I know. I've been wanting to play him every time I see him, and I just can't because of what you're doing.
Well,
to
you
me.
need to learn how to play the cards because I'm doing it right here.
About to find out.
Marissa McConnell, are my cards here yet? Great question. Dude, that Zemus evolution has got me stoked on this.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Let's put the dice up here.
Wow.
Mommy, wow. Marissa, got a question for you. What are you most excited about for the game, for SolForge Fusion? What are you looking forward to the most? Why does it appeal to you, let's say?
Hold on, there's something here.
Yeah, dude. Sometimes I look at the hand of 5 and I'm like, if certain things happen, this is a symphony. J.K. Lawlings, I just love the flavor and aesthetic of Zemus. Zemus? Is it that good?
It's
Just
just
the face you make in Fab and you're about to do 30 damage.
complicated.
Oh, great. That's a different face, I got. Marissa saying the lack of piles for resolving makes me very happy. I feel that. Where's the stack?
Okay. It's definitely the right play there. There.
That's right. Phenomenox. I cancel your cancel. We've got a podcast series coming up. We're going to be talking about some game mechanic things, and cancels is definitely in the conversation. It's like, is that ever good? Is that ever fun? Is canceling anything ever the right thing to have in a game? Ever?
Dude, check this out. Holy smokearinis.
I guarantee you whatever Zach thinks is about to happen is not going to work, and whatever the rules actually are.
We're just gonna wait for Shadow to chime in.
You're going to be surprised.
I will be.
Check this out. I'm gonna play Infernal Ritual.
Okay.
We're getting into the weird.
Destroy one of your creatures. Yeah. I did the hard work for me. Thank you very much.
So I'm gonna destroy him. But then I get to play
You can upgrade a thing. You
two
can't even
zombie
use it. Oh
two
my
zombie
gosh.
brute minions. They get +2, and this turn they get aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna go.
Oh, the old flanking maneuver. That's a classic.
Over to you.
Okay, so that wasn't the thing that was most exciting for you.
We're not done yet.
Jonathan Amar, the art is reminiscent of World of Warcraft. Yeah, it's got the kind of that old school feel for sure.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, that's right. Sorry, back up. Before I do that, this is what I want to do. I'm using my ability.
What did I tell you?
There it
Bryce?
is.
What did I tell you?
Yeah.
So I'm using my ability to play 2 zombie
Yeah,
brute
play them
minions.
first and then buff them, right?
Yeah. And then they all get aggressive, and then they're all they'll get +2, which I forgot to apply. So they're going to be 8 attack. That's why I was so excited.
That is pretty exciting.
Just like
They all get aggressive or just the 2 you summon?
so, it says give your zombies +4. This turn they get aggressive.
You're reading the level 3 spell.
We'll give your zombies +2. This turn they get aggressive.
Okay. That's
This lets me play 2 zombie brutes. Yeah, and then it gives them all +2 and aggressive.
Okay. So that's like a zombie. You did a zombie assault combo wombo there.
The horde has arrived.
Nobody's touching Zemus here. Clearly going to get through unblocked.
Well, I still have an action though.
Okay.
Asking for a friend.
Well, I don't really have a good answer to this.
Yeah, shit, that's exactly right. So the roots would have gone here from my ability, and then I would have sacrificed, like, technically there was a thing here. So I put 2 brutes here, then I sacrifice here to put 2 brutes into play, and then they get +2 and aggressive,
Yeah.
is what should have happened.
That's 32 damage coming down the pike there.
Bazinga! We like the stock. Terrence says, Steven, if you hate going first and going second, are you looking forward to playing 3 players? Yo, Steven Sandwich. That is a play right there.
Yeah, it's big.
It is.
Big time.
Big time. I like the way both went there.
Big time. I don't have a good answer for this, man.
It's going to get worse, too. It's so beautiful.
Something gets worse before it gets better. A lot of zombos. I need like a mass kill.
The 6 health mass kill is hard to come by as far as I've seen. Need like
Alright,
Valor Morgulis.
We'll put a... I can't destroy one of my... Yeah, okay. So let's put a Scourge Hydra here. Its ability isn't going to trigger. It's just a 5/2. So it's just going to soak one of these 8s and level itself up.
Okay. I'm going to play a little card called Burnout. It says I can play a Spell Sprite minion. So we will. And then it says give all of my creatures +3.
That's good. That's a Spell Swarm over there. You just put in there.
Sorry.
I'm scared.
They're all going to 11.
All right. Here, you can have your auxiliary dice.
Yeah, thanks. My bonus. We like the stock. That may be the craziest SolForge play I've experienced so far.
I'm glad to be here for it.
Okay, end of the turn.
Discard.
Yeah. 11.
I'll take what? Give me the full thing. 33?
33, yeah.
All right, there's 15. There's 30. There's 3. Dead.
Holy smokes! Woo! That's crazy town. That was when I realized how crazy it was because I could get 2 and then 4, and they all get aggressive and +2, and
That's
then +3
wonkos.
again.
Yeah, that's what we call. That's my key phrase is wonkos.
Wonko's woolly. Woo, that is insanity.
Oh man, what a heater!
Actually,
That's nuts. I would plan like that deck. You need to plan for that to happen.
yeah, totally. I mean, so the tough part is that combo is not. It's 2 cards, right?
2 cards and that specific.
Well, you can always have that ability in play on this 3rd cycle. But then to make it really hum, it's like you can always do this, and you can always get 2 zombies with +2 and aggressive with any creature with this spell. So that's good in its own right.
See, those pair really well together.
Yeah, but that's only really good as well if your board's clear. Like the fact that I happen to have a clear board state.
Yeah,
It wasn't like that was. I mean, it's intentional in that I'm just getting value.
That's
but like
amazing.
a wide open board like that is what allows that moment to happen, right?
So cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like me also being wide open too. So like the idea of you keeping my board clear, sacrificing, keeping everything like really tidy, and then blowing up a zombie, a nuclear bomb is a pretty cool deck.
Yeah, because on the 3rd cycle, as long as I hit that Infernal Ritual, and technically now knowing that, right, there's the level 3 Infernal Ritual is destroy to play 3 zombies. So I could have a 5 zombie with +4 and aggressive.
Yep. That's amazing. I'm happy to be a part of what just happened. Thank you for playing.
So someone was asking earlier, I want to show this because I think it's actually way easier than you would think. Essentially, how long it takes you to divide a deck out after you're done with a game. So I just want to show it again. So obviously I have released tokens, doesn't really matter. But it took me a few games before I realized you could do this. So if you look at your deck, you literally, it's so easy to tell purple and red in my deck because you can't combine factions. So without even really looking at the cards, I can quickly get to purple-red. And then once you get to purple-red, all you have to do is divide by the card border color, like silver, gold, bronze. So it really actually happens quite quick. So, just showing it off.
Show it off.
I feel like I could spend hours examining decks to attempt to figure out, like that's a very specific combo, right?
Yeah, you find those interactions. It's like the life gain swamp moss stuff that's going on too. It's like, okay, yeah. I could build to this. Fascinating.
Voila.
Voila. Nice.
Okay, I will be right back. You want to?
I'm going to start breaking things down and talking about the factions. I want to actually start looking at what these factions are doing.
I would very much enjoy that process. What is this deck?
Now, Raging Amoeba play got me the temporary advantage, which I was looking for, but then the zombie bomb made up for it.
The Bombies.
The Bombies, that's right. La Bombies.
Yeah. That was, I enjoy seeing that. Of course, if you have those kind of like just explosive game ending plays happening frequently, 3rd cycle's not bad because there's only 4 cycles in the game. So it is cool to at least see what happens when you have an open board, what's possible.
You can exploit it.
Yeah, it can go very poorly.
Ain't that the truth, yeah.
All right, I will be right back.
All right. And I'm going to start looking at, I'm going to break out these decks that we have and actually start looking at what these different factions are bringing to the party here. And any old SolForge players that could help out, that would be great. We would love that. So let me start. I think if we look at the Forgeborn, that's going to help us. It's going to help us figure things out here. So I'm just going to get 4 decks. Let's do a blue, and we've got a green, and let's get a red as well. Okay. So we've got a few examples of some Forgeborn here, and I feel like that's going to give me an idea of what's going on. Okay, so if we pull up, let's start with Ironbeard from Patrol of Pliers and Knight. I believe I played this one last time. So we've got Reinforce, giving creature +4 and +4 shield. Then shields up, give your creatures 6 shields. Then knock back, move it to 2 creatures back and give them -10. So this is saying to me all about like denial, block, defense, etc. Then we've got Sunder on the red side here from the Experts of Frost Charisma, which of course is a hilarious title. Play a spell for free, play a Spell Swarm minion, and you and one of your creatures get 15 armor this turn. That's insane. Ice armor. That's insane. So let me look at these Spell Swarm minions. I feel like this is important. Okay. So this seems to be a red thing. So we've got the spell sprites are the basic minions, and they get stronger and stronger as you play spells. So red is feeling like one strategy is you're going to be playing minions and then playing a bunch of direct damage spells that are also going to make your board better. Correct me if I'm wrong. Then if we look at the blue minion, we've got Gizmo. So when a creature replaces this, the creature gets +2/+2. And then if we look at like Mega Gizmo, when a creature replaces this, give it +6/+6. So these are basically making bigger and bigger and bigger creatures as your creatures come into play and replace these minions. So that's an important reference point. Then we've got Mindless Zombies. So we just saw this with Zach's deck just now with purple, that it feels like that zombie swarm kind of mentality is going to be critical to their strategy and buffing zombies as they come along. And then we saw green, I think last time, Wisps are doing, it looks like they're very tiny little wispies, but then their Oakfather minions are 8/8 breakthrough, which is like incredible. Like that's like massive. Biggest minion coming out of the gate. So especially with breakthrough, breakthrough is a massively important ability. So it looks like green is doing like a lot of, it's like trample style damage. So that's something to look for. Let's look at the purple Forgeborn here. Life Drain. So this is purple stuff, right? It's what you would expect. It's like vampire stuff. It's like creepy, it's like creepy stuff. Deal damage and gain life. Upgrade cards in your discard pile and return one to your hand, and then destroy a creature. So yeah, of course. Like this is purple doing what you would expect when you see purple. It's like the black magic kind of feel. And then we look at Nova, the one I was just playing from Detachment of the Ancients. Buff a creature, and if it's a minion, you're going to deal damage. You're buffing minions, basically, giving all creatures +3/+3. And that Nova's Touch we were talking about. Choose an enemy, basically polymorph it into a wisp, and then creatures opposing it get breakthrough. So I see a lot of breakthrough in green, which seems to be kind of one of the key abilities. So we've got red that's going to be playing a lot of spells and buffing their minions. We've got purple that's going to be doing a lot of the creepy purple stuff, upgrading cards when they shouldn't be, dealing damage, gaining life, that kind of stuff. Breakthrough and bigger creatures seems to be the green MO. And then we've got buffing, and I think blue has a decent amount of life gain. I'm going to look through this deck and find out if that's the case. If that's a blue thing, or if that's an all thing, universal thing. They have scientists in blue too. It looks like they're giving a lot of life buffs in blue.
You saw the color by?
No, it's not overt, which I like a lot. So the minions have a pretty distinct flavor, right? It's like gizmos, you replace them and they buff whatever replaces them.
Yeah. So kind of upgrading.
It's like building bigger stuff.
Overriding, is that what it's called?
Yeah, building bigger things. Red is a lot about playing spells that buff the minions.
Okay. So about attack value.
Green has a lot of breakthrough, and they have the biggest minion out of the gate. The Oakfather is like the biggest, just like normal minion. And then Mindless Zombies, we've seen what those do.
Swarm.
Right? Play a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, swarm up.
Okay.
And then looking here, just looking at Shadow, purple equals shenanigans, correct, Dysphoria. Green and black do the most life gain, and Shadow's saying they have a lot of color bleed as well. So it's not like an overt, like these factions only do these things.
Purple is black?
Yeah, effectively. Yeah, so purple is basically just creepy stuff. It's everything you expect from creepy stuff in the game. So next, I want to look at actually some of these decks. And let's start with green. The green deck that I was just playing.
Yeah. What's the name of it?
It's called the Detachment of the Ancient, which is pretty cool.
Let me pull mine up. Alright. So I'm referencing the same moment. So your Forgeborn is Nova. That's who you're playing.
Yeah. And there are multiple Forgeborn for different factions. There's 2, I think, for each faction that will have procedurally generated stuff.
Yeah, so each ability is unique to that Forgeborn, but the abilities that you get are logarithmically decided, right? So Nova's Wrath is an example on this Nova. Will only ever show up on Nova, but it's not on every copy of Nova, potentially.
Okay, so some of the cards I was playing with that I really dug. Feral Instinct in green. Giving buffs and breakthrough again, so we're seeing a lot of breakthrough in green. I think I've seen that in my pool of cards.
Which you were doing a lot of damage that way. I was down to like 13 to 14 health.
Yeah, breakthrough was doing work there. The just statically good creatures seems maybe a key piece here with green, as you would expect. 10-12 Camouflage War Tusk level 3 has stealth. Like you play this whenever you have the Forge, and suddenly it's 10 damage unless you can find a way to do 12 without blocking.
It's really interesting because like camouflage is a function of giving you stealth, and so I wonder. Let me just see.
I think the War Tusk is probably just a big creature.
I want to see if I have a camouflaged not that color. You know what I mean?
Like it doesn't show up. Like it shows up in more than green. I imagine it's got to show up in purple at least.
It's not in this purple deck.
That's awesome. Obviously, Morbid got me on the QR code. It's good to know, right?
Yeah, so like I have this camouflage Banshee in this purple deck. So it's at least showing up in other colors. I am curious if it shows up like you could potentially lock keywords into certain colors.
Yeah.
But presumably you could get it anywhere. But anyway, so stealth is not a function of green.
No. But War Tusk, I think just being an above curve creature is probably a green thing.
Yeah.
It's just a Beeferton. A little bit more health and life, but probably just a hard-hitting creature.
Yeah.
Then we have the Shroudthorn Splicer. Again, breakthrough. And then you can replace another creature with an Oakfather minion. So he has breakthrough, and then it brings in a minion that has breakthrough. So there's a lot of breakthrough happening here, which I really like. And then we have the Mystical Tangle Sprout level 3 is going to come in as a defender. And it has an activation that gives a creature +4/+4. Yeah. So it's kind of like a mini spell, right? These activate abilities, the ability to place something on the board and get more than the sum of your parts. You do block at a 6/10, which I think can soak a lot of those big attacks, but also giving something +4/+4 is awesome. And this is a nice.
Check this out from Shadow.
What's that?
Basic keywords live in all colors, but there are a ton of color-specific keywords as well.
Mm-hmm.
Which is cool. That's a cool way to give
mobility.
abilities.
Maybe is only in blue. I don't think I've seen mobility anywhere else.
I'm so curious to know.
Check this out though. So I start looking at this deck, and I've got the Everflow Eidolon as well as a level 3 defender with a bunch of armor. Activate to give other creatures in the back row +5. So like, if you imagine a world where you have these two together, and like this one activates to give this one +4/+4, and this one activates to give this one +5 attack. You can start, if these stay on the board, they can just every cycle they can just activate and start buffing each other.
Yeah.
So
well, especially
you gotta watch out. So you put this with some life gain, and now all of a sudden you're a brick wall.
That's crazy.
And look at Arrogant Bartok here, level 3. Comes in as a 12/2. That's the arrogance part of it. But it deploys and gives the next creature +8/+8. With all the breakthrough in the deck, like this starts to look really interesting. So like, if you get into a situation where you play level 3 Arrogant Bartok, already a 12 threat, then the Shroudthorn comes in at 18 with breakthrough, and it brings in an Oakfather with breakthrough.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's like,
you can imagine though, from like a depth of deck building here, or deck fusing, is imagine it if you have things that have aggressive, right? So like the next creature can, even the deck I was playing, the zombie
like
thing.
that Amoeba that I had or whatever.
Totally.
Like Arrogant into the Amoeba that suddenly is hitting for like 15.
That's a huge like game-ending combo, right? Because it's hitting for what is the level 3 Amoeba strength?
I'll show you.
I would be curious to know.
It is 10. 9 rather.
So it's
a raging Amoeba here.
It would then
9.
be 17 with over, and you're going second, so you get
aggressive.
the end.
Yeah.
So like as a finisher, that's like super.
Oh, that's
crazy.
I'm sorry, that's a level 2. You're right, Bryce. It's a 10. 10, 13 aggressive.
Okay, so 18
Wow.
with overkill as aggressive could be game ending. Shadow saying, it's good to have you here, Shadow. Things to know, we consider a basic creature at each level as a 6/6, a 9/9, and a 13/14.
That's awesome. And then the keywords play with that equation. So arrogant saying is plus X plus 0. So it gains attack but doesn't gain life.
Gotcha.
So
that's where like your arrogant Bartok is usually a X2. So I don't know how much it's gaining, but it's also bringing in a +8/+8 with it.
Yeah.
So that's really like a 10, let's say attack with 0, 8 in value. So you're probably looking at just
Bartok cannot lose.
yeah, like arrogance probably adding 4 or 5 there. It's crazy.
Dendrify here. Place up to 2 creatures with Oak Father minions. Those are 8/8 breakthroughs. So like, if you have this kind of stuff with creatures that do things when they leave play or are destroyed, you're gonna have a good time. I'm excited about this possibility of finding the right partner there.
I would assume that replace is not equivalent to destroy, just for reference.
Or like leaves play.
Let me see if replace.
Those kinds of effects, you know? That Swamp Moss Lurker, though, is really why you're here, isn't it?
Replace. Replay a creature to an occupied land, banishing the original creature. The banished creature is not considered to be destroyed.
Right on.
But anything that says when it leaves play.
Yeah, if there's a leaves play effect or something. Okay, so look at this. You got the Soothing Basher mixed with the Swamp Moss Lurker. So this is another line the deck has.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go Heavy Defender line, you can go into Heavy Defender, gain life, play into level 3 Swamp Moss, have a 30 to 35. And then, if you have a way to give this breakthrough, like that one card I was playing, the Feral Assault or whatever, gives a breakthrough. There's your win condition, right? So you can start figuring that out.
Yeah. And your deck's obviously this green stack is very defensive.
Yeah. It's like, it's kind of a beautiful mix of defensive plus breakthrough, which is like, okay, let's go. Or like the Camouflage War Tusk suddenly at a +8, and then it has stealth, so it can't be blocked. It's like there's some really good plays here.
Yeah, I also like that, what's it called? Soothing Basher. The deploy gain 5.
Mm-hmm.
That is the kind of thing that
screws up some math. And it's a 15 with breakthrough.
Yeah.
Natural.
That's
so
crazy.
These are big creatures just like stomping around, which gets me quite excited. I love that. What are your level 3s on one of your either red or purple or?
Yeah, we'll just look at that purple deck I was playing.
I think these level 3s give us a pretty good idea of kind of what we should expect.
Where you're heading. So you saw some of these cards. I didn't really ever play this, but it's called Om Nom Nom. It's a spell, level 3. Give a creature +8 or -8/-8. So the zombies, right? Eating something up. So -8/-8 is going to kill most creatures. If it destroys a creature, you can play a zombie brute.
Classic
so
purple
zombie,
stuff, right? Yeah.
Scourge Hydra. Deploy if one of your creatures was destroyed this turn. Destroy an enemy creature.
I love that card so much. That kind of exchange that's just devastating. Also, let's just keep in mind, Scourge Hydra at 14/8. Like, if that's your second play as... It's just like you destroy their creature, the one that's going to block you come in as a 14. It's just like, well, now...
Which, it's a really cool balance, that Summoning Sickness. If I'm going second and I get to play this last, he's going to be in the background.
You can't attack with it.
But even going first as my second action, a lot of times you'll have big creature 1 that your opponent's planning to deal with. You play second big creature and then remove the thing in front of big creature 1.
Yeah,
and it's like
double big creature.
You can't cover both lanes, right?
It's the old-fashioned pincer.
Next we get Soul Reap. Deal 7 to a creature, gain 7 life. If you have a beast in play, deal 7 to a player, gain 7 life.
Oh, come on.
So that's potentially a gain 14.
Come on.
Which is,
You can't stay away from these cards, can you? They just find their way into your hand.
You're right to me. Straight to my spirit. Next, we get the Spite Maiden. 10 attack, 7 life. Deploy. You may have this deal 5 damage to yourself. If you do, you may play a spell for free.
Wow, that's so powerful.
And that's at each stage. You can do 5 and play something free.
Yeah.
And that's...
free is the name of the game here.
Yeah, the more cards you can upgrade, the higher density those upgraded cards are showing up in cycle 2 and 3. It gets really powerful very quickly. But 5 life is a lot. It's 10% of your health just tossing away.
Also want to pipe in here, Shadow Sand, nicely. So Simon was asking, will it always be the same 4 colors or factions? Are they looking to add more in the future? Shadow Sand, we plan on eventually releasing additional factions, not soon and not yet, but future plans. Yeah. So it may well happen.
Justin on the podcast was saying that like one of the questions we had was, how do you bake in enough levers to pull as a designer or developer to make sure that you're not having to go back and add new things later, like new mechanics or a 6th lane or like just things that break the fundamentals of the game. And he seemed very confident that they had decades worth of places to go with this, which more factions would make sense, right?
If you really understand an algorithm too, you know that you've got a lot of levers.
Venerable Spirit, 14 attack, 11 life. Deploy. If this is played in a lane with an opposing creature, destroy this.
No,
so
come
it has
on,
to go into
a 14-11 that just destroys the opposition? I mean, you kill the Swamp Moss Lurker right there.
It's the opposite. He destroys himself if he's played in the lane with a different creature. So his shtick.
So is his upgrade path stronger as he gets to this?
So he starts strong. So they consider a normal one 6/6.
Oh, right.
So he can only be played into an MP lane, but he starts at a 9.
So Venerable Spirit level 1 starts higher, but then the final version is less exciting because it can't do that kind of final push.
His first 2 stages, we can show all 3. His first 2 stages are above the curve, and his last stage is actually a little under the curve.
You know what's crazy about this? Like,
Steven loves it. He loves the stock.
What's weird is actually that this game system, the idea of like playing cards and leveling them up to level 3 as you go along, is like so perfectly suited for the algorithmic unique model, like even more so than Keyforge. Like Keyforge introduced this concept of like we can do a game like this, but this seems like a game that's more designed to actually take advantage of how insane things can be when you can procedurally generate lines of cards and how they behave across 3 iterations. That's actually quite amazing.
I think the addition of the 3 iterations and then also the algorithmically generated card, like keywords being like, title, bringing in some ability or effect.
Is Venerable the keyword here?
Yeah.
So what does it mean? Does it mean the deploy ability?
Shadow in chat saying Venerable means it starts stronger and gets weaker as it upgrades.
I love it so much.
Yeah. So those 2 things, though, mean that you can really explore the algorithmically generated element so much more than I think you could in like even Keyforge's situation, right? Yeah.
My gosh.
You'll love to see it. And then we get one of my favorites, the
so cool.
Ossuary Mech. This is the one that it's a 9/9, so it's a little weaker, but when it's destroyed, you can play a card from your discard pile for free.
Yeah, that's always going to be awesome,
So
right?
the upgrade path, the first one is the one where when it's destroyed, you can upgrade a card in your discard pile. The second one is when it's destroyed, upgrade a card in your discard pile.
Yeah.
The third one is when destroyed, play a card for free.
Of course.
Which is like crazy, crazy value.
Now, you know the beautiful thing though about this is that it's designed in such a way that the recursion issue is less problematic because the things that have already had an impact on the game go to the banish. So you can't keep doing the same thing with this card, but you can play something that you didn't play last time that's in the discard pile for free.
Well, the other thing is the cards that you upgrade go to the discard pile.
Yeah. So you can immediately just play a level 2 and then play this and get that in if it's destroyed.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like it.
So you can imagine.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of funky stuff.
This is turning my brain on fire.
One of the purple things seems, as Shadow was noting earlier, they upgrade and or play things from discard. Blue,
because Shadow.
Blue seems to be doing it from hand, I think, is what he was saying.
Okay.
Like they upgrade.
They upgrade creatures as they come out.
Yeah. But it's cool. I mean, they're zombies, right? So the discard pile coming back to life makes a lot of sense. And then finally, on the creature side, then we get a couple
Final Zemus?
Zemus, he's that character you got excited about. I love, in the very first X they sent us, there was a creature that started as a dragon egg, then became a medium-sized dragon, then a big-sized dragon. That, thematically, I just love that stuff. Anyway, Zemus, 6 attack, 6 life, so under the curve. When destroyed, reanimate this to the same lane with a +6. Hold on. It doesn't, the other versions of him said it gets blanked.
Yeah.
Stage 3.
So he's there forever. Wait a minute.
And every time he gets destroyed, he's +6.
So, okay, look up Reanimate. Does it leave play and come back in with +6, or does it not leave play and keep stacking +6s?
Play a card. Reanimate says play a card from your banish pile. So I think he just gets played from the banish at +6.
So he leaves, but then he comes back.
At 12.
So it's always comes back at 12, comes back at 12, not constant.
He's so worth upgrading.
Oh, 100%. Dude. He's there forever.
He's unreal.
Are you crazy?
He's like the champion.
He's there forever.
Shadow says he exists until replaced. Like if you had a card that said like replace something with a minion or something.
That's actually quite awesome. My gosh.
The Undead King.
And that makes sense. So like one answer to this is no visibility that takes an enemy and replaces it with a wisp and then breaks through it.
Yeah.
Stacks on stacks, man.
I also love his flavor text on the level 3. It says, "Do I deserve this?" The Undying.
Wait, what if you read all 3 in a row?
Right.
Is it actually a haiku?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Remus, or Zemus, Remus. Stage 1, Zemus. Myself no longer.
Myself no longer, yeah. 5, 7.
Cursing that which I've become.
Myself no longer, cursing that which I've become. Do I deserve this? Beautiful.
What's the rules of a haiku?
575. And do you, most of the forms are 575. Did you also know that the ideal haiku is supposed to make sense if only the first 2 are read and if only the last 2 are read? That's the sign of a great haiku. I did not know that.
Pour me another round of scotch. All right, next we get I love this card. Not gonna lie. Infernal Ritual, it will forever be scarred in my brain.
Yeah, now you're keeping this deck forever.
The moment I almost broke Steven.
Yeah.
Destroy one of your creatures in play to play up to 3 zombie brute minions. Give your zombies +4, and this turn they gain aggressive. So this deck has to know Zemus is the Zenith.
And he's a zombie.
Totally.
So you bust your zombies.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy.
I mean, it gets aggressive, +4.
Yeah. So you
crazy?
want him, period. You see him, you play him. It's a new rule of the deck. The second thing, twice I was like, oh, I should play this guy, right? And then I was like,
see
nah.
it, play it.
But
right.
even like the card lets me upgrade a level 2 card or a card in my discard pile. It's like get him to level 3 immediately.
As fast as you can. Lock
Get
down
him
a
to
lane.
play,
Boom.
and then your opponent has to deal.
Yeah.
Anyways,
It's a forever problem.
literally think about it with this. Oh, I'll destroy a creature. He comes back into +6. Then I get to play 3 zombies. They're all +4. They all get aggressive.
That's disgusting. I don't even want to think about it.
We
hate it already.
We just did. We thought about it
already.
We also get Vyric's Embrace. Deal 8 damage to a creature. You gain 8 life.
Weak.
He's weak. Palms are sweaty. Something about my mom's spaghetti. Zrath's Will. Zrath. X's get weird.
Zarth.
Is it really Zarth?
No, it's Wrath. You're right, yeah.
You may play 2 zombie brute minions. If you gain life this turn, this is capital F free.
How do you gain life? The Spine Maiden. You may have this deal. No.
Deals to yourself. Soul Reap. Gain 5. Let's see.
Dude, Soul Reap into Garth's Will is awesome.
Do I have an ability that does it? Nope.
It's looking for a partner, man.
Yeah, so it needs a life gain moment.
And then you partner this with my life dinosaur deck. We gain life, and then eventually we gain so much life that we start crushing.
Hey, check this out. If you play Zrath's Will, 2 zombies. If you gain life, you get free, right? So we get 3 cards in the turn. So imagine Infernal Ritual gets you 3 zombies. This gets you 2 zombies. Right, you have to sacrifice something. So if you have something that gave you life when it leaves play,
wait, but what's Vyric's Wrath up to? Vyric's Embrace gains you life right there.
Deal 8 to a creature, gain 8.
But you gain 8, so that turns this on. So that's interesting.
Yeah, so like, let's just say this is you play this, you deal 8, gain 8.
Let's deal 8 to Zemus and get him to 12.
Well, yeah, he comes back as 12. Let's just say Zemus is out. Yeah, let's say he's out. Right, the Vyric's Embrace. Deal 8 to him, he comes back. Cool. Gain 8 life. Fine. Then you're like, okay, next. Let's play Infernal Ritual. Cool. I'll destroy Zemus. He comes back as a 12. I get 3 zombies. They all get +4. All these guys are aggressive.
I think I do that first.
No, now I've gained life. It's free. Play my 5th slot.
But you don't have an opportunity to. Oh, yeah, I guess you do have an opportunity to play it, don't you?
Crazy.
I don't know. Do you have to have an action point? Is like Go Again and Fab? You have to have an action point to play a free thing that doesn't consume an action point? It doesn't, huh?
Free is free.
Oh, come on.
Free is just free as the day is long.
All right, quickly, let's look at these blue. Let's look at blue and red, our favorites.
I don't know why, but blue just very quickly. It reminds me of like mech in Fab.
Yeah, I don't know why you're so wrong about things, but here we are.
Well, I'm glad you get to play on my blue decks. It's mechy, right?
It is mechy, yeah. It's more mechy than I would like it to be, but I appreciate that
it's got the key forwards, like, it reminds me of what's the blue, Logos?
Logos, yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. Okay, let's look at some things that are notable. Armored Technohulk, 10 armor. Notable. 8/6 with 10 armor. I think these guys are going to have some armor.
Wait, which deck are you looking at?
What's mobility 1? Patrol of pliers and night.
You can activate to shift lane.
Oh, that's just awesome. I love mobility.
Steven's already in on blue, man.
Look at Arrogant Sculptor. Okay, so this is a good level 3 Arrogant Sculptor here. Creature mage here. 15/8 easily removed, but 15 damage on a mage is pretty impressive. But when you deploy it, if this replaced a creature, you can then play a spell for free.
Yeah, that's good.
So let's look at, for instance, the minion you're going to be looking at, the Mega Gizmo, right? Is your minion. So you replace the Mega Gizmo with this. It comes in at 21/14. That's right. And then you play a spell for free. You know what? Why don't we do
anything?
Force Field. Give a creature 15 armor this turn. If you play it on a warrior, it also gets plus 15 attack.
You know what this would be really good with? Is green.
Breakthrough.
You have any green warriors?
Breakthrough warriors.
Let me see that green deck. There's going to be future streams where we're just doing this for hours.
Dude, Arrogant Bartok's a warrior. Not the one you want, though.
No, it doesn't have breakthrough.
Let's see if there's any other warrior. Oh, Camouflage Wartusk with stealth. Suddenly going to 25.
15 armor, 25 with stealth.
And he's stealth.
Yeah,
and that's so cool because you can't block him because he's so awesome you can't see him.
Yeah, he's the John Cena of SolForge.
This has got me jacked, man. I feel like I just drank one of them 20-hour SolForge Fusion Energy drinks. Okay, let's look at what else we've got. We've got Camouflaged Inventor, level 3, has stealth. When you deploy it, play a Mega Gizmo minion. The combo's already here. Play the Camouflage Inventor, play a minion. Second play, Arrogant Sculptor replaces the minion, plays a Force Field for free. We just designed an unstoppable deck. We've also got...
The deck we designed that was built for us by someone
We've
else.
also got Camouflage Warden, Stealth. If you have another robot, give this +4/+4, so it comes in at 11/12 Stealth. I don't hate that.
Stealth is when you have that plus 15 thing floating around.
Yeah.
With anything with stealth built in is crazy.
Stealth looks really good here.
Yeah.
Gauntlets of Soulgrim. Look at this. Straight up, deal 10 damage to a creature. Give a creature 10 armor. Let's change the math. They love armor. Nanoswarm. Play up to 2 Mega Gizmo minions. If you have a scientist, give all your non-minion creatures +6/+6 with all this stealth running around.
Mm-hmm.
Get some breakthrough in the deck.
And those Mega Gizmos are great.
They're phenomenal. Palladium Pulse Mage, a 5/12. Each enemy player destroys their lowest attack creature. I love that Palladium's coming in at a 5. Usually it's going to destroy itself. So this is basically kill one of their big attack creatures that you're always going to be under.
Yeah.
Recycling Reinforcements, level 3. Deploy it. Adjacent creatures get +5 life. If it replaced a creature, give it +10/+10. So, hold on a second.
So max value on that card, right? Let's just do the math. +5 to its friends, right?
Yeah.
Means that's 10 value.
And it's going to get 16, so it's going to come in at 21/22 if it replaces a Mega Gizmo.
It's beefy.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Wait, this is a whole thing.
So it seems like with them upgrading and getting all the life and health and stuff, like they're going to be really good at having presence.
They should be sticky, right?
Like that combo I have where I just nuked you earlier seems like it'd be way harder against blue because it's going to be harder to have like an actual board clear.
That would be the hope. And then you got War Machine, a 6/10 robot warrior. So this is also a warrior. And a robot for the purpose of keywords. I think it's costed to satisfy a number of keywords. Like if you have another robot in play, you get +4/+4. If you have a creature. If it replaced something, give it +10. So it comes in at 16. It comes in at 22 attack off of a Mega Gizmo. Still has that 10 life.
Yeah. You like blue?
I mean, I love the color. And this is
I feel like mobility too is like
mobility is where it's at.
Pretty high on your.
Give me the ability to move.
Your wish list. Okay, I'm gonna grab a. What have we not looked at? Red. Red's what we haven't broken down yet, right? Yeah.
Yes. Show us the red.
All right. This is the red deck I was using today.
What's it called?
It's called the Preservers of the Apprentice. That's not right.
Well, if you say so.
Here it is. I think I was playing this one.
I've got the Experts of Frost Charisma. Is that what you were playing?
That is not what I was playing, but man, those cards look awesome. All right,
Dude,
so
these red cards are way cooler than all the other cards.
Well, I mean,
like this Thundersaur.
I know how to pick. Yeah, remember that was last week.
Yeah, but
I had the Godzilla thing.
I didn't realize the art on this was so good.
All right, let's look at the Arrogant Breaker, Stage 3. Deploy. Give another one of your creatures plus 15. Let me tell you.
15-2? What a waste of time.
But this is a Bojangle situation. Let me tell you why.
Breakthrough, stealth, etc. You gotta be nervous on that last cycle.
Well, so like even if I'm going second, like I might have something that looks really weak, just kind of sitting here. I'm going second, be able to play this, and then now suddenly something's hitting you at 15.
True. As your last play. Wow.
Super powerful in my opinion.
Yeah.
Next we have the Chaining Giant. I love this guy. 15-19. It looks awesome. Deploy. If you played a spell this turn, you may play a spell for free.
Okay, hold on a second. So you play a spell, play the giant, play a spell for free.
That's right. So you want to have a good number of spells. I played the level 2 of him earlier, and it's good. You can imagine that paired with the combo I had earlier.
Yeah.
Because I get him and all the stuff that you saw.
Yeah, I don't like that
just
at all.
saying.
I think you're going to be a purple red, man.
I like, well, green's also good too. You have the breakthrough aggro moment.
Actually, the pairings of all of them get interesting in that you want to do all of it.
That's right.
Huh.
Agreed. First Fist, Uranti. 4 attack, 12, so you better be doing some. Defender, I already don't like any of this. Activate, this deals damage equal to its attack to a creature or player.
Yeah, you love it.
I love it. You know why? Look at this. Oh, he's a defender. He's so weak. My next activation comes, right? And it's like Arrogant Breaker.
19 to you.
I'm going to give him plus 15.
Right to the face.
Let's activate and hit you for 19.
We better watch out. These late game bombs are hilarious.
So when they sent us those early decks, we played 4 or 5 times, and then I was playing more. I went on a trip, took the decks, played more with Rafe, and after a little bit, it's like the value of the stage 3 cards and combos is high enough that like all the early exchanges and getting up by 5 or 10 and that kind of stuff does not matter in a lot of games. Because like it does,
it's the incremental advantage. You have to be able to weather a storm. So if there will be decks that have an early to mid game that's so strong that you don't have you can't play the weaker 1 and 2 cards that you want to level up into because you have to solve the problem now that they're presenting.
Yeah,
which
that's
I
the
love.
balance.
So there's still aggro decks. There's still the late game decks.
Yeah. That is totally the balance. But you start learning like the late game combo pieces. Mm-hmm. Like these two specifically, right? It's like if you play this deck a lot, maybe when you see these guys, it's possible you're playing them.
Yeah, play them out.
And then in the end, they're really good. All right, Inflaming Ice Crusher. Aggressive, we like it.
Now, wait a minute.
9
That's
attack.
kind of a contrast in terms, isn't it? An inflamed ice crusher? Well, I guess you do crush ice if you're inflamed. Is he made of ice, though?
Ice and fire, I don't know.
That's an ice dinosaur? This is the coolest thing. Hold on.
He's an ice-fired ice dinosaur.
I love this.
Raleigh and PhD says, just tuning in, is this another unique deck game?
That's right.
Yes.
If not officially, I don't know if FG maybe owns that trademark or
I
whatever.
think they do. This is a hybrid deck
algorithmically
game,
generated decks. Difference being that you shuffle 2 decks together to make your main draw deck. So there is a level of customization that Keyforge, the previous unique deck, did not have, which makes this actually very exciting.
Yeah.
Because like what we're doing right now,
not possible.
Not possible, but like we would be breaking open a deck and saying, what's the rating on a scale of 0 to 100?
Yeah.
But this is now like, where does this deck go with these decks to make it like crazy good?
Yeah. And beyond that, you also have a limited number of lanes, so you can only ever have 5 things in play. Keyforge was kind of unlimited.
Yeah, open.
And then there's a lot of other differences. If you haven't seen last week's stream, I definitely recommend checking that out. Okay, then Primordial Slam. Spell, 8 damage to a creature or player. Give a warrior +8 attack.
Yeah, of course. You love that. And look at the art, too.
Yeah, you just gotta dig it. I love this guy. Steadfast Master. All the runes and stuff on him. 9 attack, 13 health. When you play another mage, you may play a Spell Swarm minion. Now,
And
that's
then
the
spell
upgraded.
swarms get upgraded from spells.
Spell Swarms
Clearly.
are 3/9. So the Spell Sprite was 1/4, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Spell Swarm is 3/9, and then you get +3 every time you play a spell.
Yeah.
We also have the Summoning Worm. 15 attack, 3 life. Deploy, you may play a Spell Swarm minion.
Mm-hmm.
So a 15/9 and a 3/9 that gets better every time you play a spell. Unstable Spell Knight.
These things are awesome. So they do want to chain out spells quite a bit.
2 attack, 12. They're like fire mages, right? 2 attack, 12 life. Activate. If you play the spell this turn, gets +5. When it loses life, 3 damage to each enemy creature.
Yeah, they see. Red seems to have the AOE clear stuff.
Burnout. You may play a Spell Swarm minion. Give your creatures +4 attack.
Now, anything that's giving all of your creatures stuff, you got to watch out.
Yeah.
That's going to be good.
Yeah, but again, if a level 3 card, the life health combination is supposed to be 12, 13, right? 25 in value. If you have 5 things out, you give 20 attack, right? But like technically, you could also just play like an Arrogant Breaker who has 15 and gives someone 15.
True, yeah.
So just from
the numbers are around, they balance kind of nicely.
From a raw stats perspective.
It's easy to block one of those. It's harder to block 5 things.
That's right.
Yeah, at +4.
Then we get Stone Skin. Give one of your creatures +9 attack. It may battle an enemy.
I
like
hate
that.
those cards.
I like that a lot.
I mean, they're great, but I'm annoyed by them.
I can feel your annoyance. So any of the instant like make a battle happen now, just let you get a lot of value, right? Even going second, that's like the best time for that card because you can give something extra attack, clear something out of the way for something else, and like it can get really out of hand.
Yeah, this is where I feel like things start to crystallize around what's actually being accomplished with some of the simple changes that have been made to the model and being able to combine 2 decks and the leveling up system and the evolution system. And you start to look at like...
And the algorithmically generated cards.
Yeah, I mean, like you start to look at...
Stacks on stacks.
Even a simple evaluation is, okay, I'm going to look at the level 3 cards of all the decks that I have, and I'm going to see which stack of level 3 cards go well together, synergize to create some sort of big moment like your zombie moment. And then I'm looking on those decks and saying, which of these Forgeborn is the right choice for that? And then I'm saying, what am I going to do throughout that game that isn't leveling up those cards that can create a basically like kind of stall out to get me to my combo? And then I might also take an approach. It's like I'm going to look at my level 1 and 2 cards, and I'm going to see how hot can decks get on the level 1 and 2 early, and I might do a rushy style deck. And it's like,
yeah, and
even where does it end ultimately? It does actually kind of open up in the deck builder brain part where you're just like, oh my gosh, the potential is actually quite high, like near limitless.
And like even the little
and then
choice
you can buy more decks
of which Forgeborn to bring. Because you bring 2 decks, right? And you get to choose which one at the start of the game. But the thing you were just saying, right, about the decks and whatnot, the fascinating part to me is in each cycle, there's 5 cards you're not seeing.
Yeah.
So, and you also don't know the order you're going to see them in and which ones are going to show up together. So there's an element, too, of being able to understand which decks are going to routinely hand you the 2 or 3 cards you want to play that also let you apply pressure early or defend or remove stuff and have an in-game scenario where you can actually win.
Dude, that's so true, and that's so smart because you could never see the combo that you're building for because you got 5 in the tank every time.
Yeah.
And if it's the same cards every time...
Yeah, like that one card that let me get the 2 zombies to give them all aggressive. I may never see it.
Yeah.
Or I might see it once early.
So you've got to be a little wider in your evaluation of what's going on between the cards.
Yeah, which I like, that you're not guaranteed to see every card in your deck. Odds are you go to 20, you're going to see it 75% of the time you go each cycle to give any particular card. But that's really relevant in terms of you can't just, like that deck I was playing earlier, it's cool to make that happen. You have to set up a clear board state, right?
Mm-hmm. And a lot of things had to happen.
Yeah, and then you have to see it. You have to actually see it, and you might not. You might not see it till late, etc. So it's really fascinating. There are some questions coming in I wanted to answer really quick.
Yeah. Smurl, what colors are the both of us drawn to? I think I'm drawn to blue always. I'm like a blue-green. I might even try a blue-red.
So I think mechanically, red is probably the one I like the most. But thematically, I like green. Like when you actually look at the cards that you're getting, you got dinosaurs and dragons and like.
I just love dinosaurs.
And they got the apes too.
I just love dinosaurs. I grew up with dinosaurs. I love dinosaurs.
I also like, I mean, red and green have the things I like a lot. I think mechanically too, I like purple. Yeah. But lore-wise, zombies and stuff.
You're going to be playing purple.
But yeah, we're going to be
playing purple.
Like
blue-purple could be cool too. And it makes a nice color when you combine blue and purple, right?
Yeah. I kind of like that I have different reasons to be drawn to every color.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick like a number one color, I like the aggression of red.
Yeah.
And like the offense. Like, I prefer being the player someone's having to react to than the one that's controlling and reacting to the player.
We are in that space. I think this blue-green synergy is going to be cool with breakthrough and a lot of like buffing and stuff and keeping those things alive so they can just keep breaking through damage.
Yeah.
I just got like, man, it's just fun. I just want to like combine decks and start trying a bunch of different stuff. Like just jam 20 games and see what happens.
And like seeing the different combinations of decks, but then the different combinations of colors. Like the green-red that I played last week versus the red-purple today felt very different. Yeah. Like I was interacting with the game very differently.
Here's the other thing that I think is strong. Here, we'll just zoom out. We'll do the final. Getting out of here.
Jesse, the game is currently expected to come out roughly in May. Yeah. So if you're subscribed, you should get charged, and that'll show up around May.
Kickstarters, I think, will get delivered, and then the retail will hit about a month-ish later. So all of that to say, the deck building component of this, or the deck combining, let's call it the fusion mechanic.
That's right.
That's right. I'll get the marketing term. The fusion mechanic on this is very exciting. But the other thing that excites me, as much as, if not more than the idea of like honing in on the particular fusions that you want, which is actually quite exciting when I think about it more. But it's the idea that, let's say you and I let's say you get 2 displays.
Okay.
Right?
So not bad odds.
We've got 32 decks.
Yeah, 8 of each color.
8 of each color. We have a stack of the 8 decks of each color. And then I pick a random one of one color and a random one of one color, and you do the same. And then we just see what happens. That's so exciting to me. And we could do that. We could sit down for a day and do that forever and never have the same game.
Well, what did we say? With one display, it was 96 combinations.
96 combinations.
So it would take us 48 games before we had at least seen every combination one time.
And assuming perfect picks. And what's 460% of 96?
It's 400-ish.
100 times 4, 450. 460.
Yeah, so it goes pretty crazy.
So you're kind of at like, with 2 displays, you're at 500 fusions.
It's crazy.
That can happen. Yeah. So like I think about Jonathan, like my brother and I, it's like a Sunday afternoon. We're sitting at the picnic table at my house in the middle of the country. And we just got a stack of decks. And it's like, all right, take one, pour a beer. Like, let's go.
And I will say, one of the... I want to preface this by saying I love Keyforge. I was a huge fan of that game.
Hope it comes back.
Huge fan of that model, and I do hope it does return. But one of the things that new Keyforge set will come out, right? Display happens. You open a deck, you play. You open decks till you find the house combo you want, you play. There was definitely a pretty high disparity between the best and the worst.
Yeah.
Decks.
You'd get some that were just kind of sinkers.
And so in this case, so far, I have not had games where I feel like, oh, this is just unwinnable. And I think a huge part of that is the fact that there's only 5 lanes. So we were kind of pointing at the earlier Keyforge moment where, if you draw 5 cards out of 6 in a single house in Keyforge, you get to play 5 cards to the table. They might not all be great. They also might all be great. And so the recognition here, everyone getting 2 plays, and you can only ever get so wide.
It's so tight, yeah.
Yeah, means even if 2 or 3 cards in your hand aren't that playable in any given hand, you're not like totally just hamstrung.
Yeah.
Right? And even just the way the creatures are set up. It's not like a... Keyforge I loved it because it was like this game of runs. It's like almost like basketball. There's like someone's in the momentum seat and someone's reacting. And someone's gaining amber, and can you take it or are they going to get a key? And like it's this constant like... The score is going back and forth till someone gets a bucket.
Hopefully it's going back and forth.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was just MJ slamming it from the half-court line every time.
That does happen. Yeah.
It's just like, I got a key, got a key. I can't do anything.
But I'm curious to see it. I need another 100 games to know. And it might be possible there's some combination at some point that's like super good. And it's like...
I think the algorithms are pretty tight. I think it feels very like if you have a baseline that varies a little bit based on keywords, it's like you're not going to have those runaway where these 6 cards get paired together and you draw all 6 of them at once and then you play all 6. That's the problem. Is like if my hand of 2/2/2 is against your hand of 6, you play 6 cards, I play 2. It doesn't matter the quantity of those cards.
Yeah.
Like you're well in the lead because they can all reap, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very tighter. It's a lot more controlled. It feels like there's gonna be less runaways for sure.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you have zombies do 33 to you, and it's like that's kind of cool.
I think you need big moments to be possible.
Mm-hmm.
I like big moments.
Yeah.
Even knowing, like, if I'm behind and knowing my deck has the Hail Marys, right? It's like I know if I played that same combo again, I know that I can sacrifice life in order to make sure the board's clear going into the late game. Because it might be possible if the board's clear, you take your first action, and then I'm just like, oh, here's suddenly 50 damage across the board.
Bada boom.
Like, deal with it.
Yeah.
And you're just like, can't.
Yeah.
Which
awesome stuff.
Would be great. So we'll be back next week. What are we doing next week? Do you know what we're doing next week?
Well, we're going to start things off, and we're going to kind of go over what we've learned in the process of playing on the stream and interacting with the community, and probably talk a little bit more directly about like who should buy into this game, like who should play it. And then I can't help but think we're going to play some more games.
That's right.
So join us there.
Right.
Join us next week. If you want to get on the subscription for this, we've got it at 20% off. It's at $96. That's guaranteed supply. It also comes with a promo card that only we'll be including in our displays. And over time, that promo may change. I think we're working on different ways to work that in. Obviously, an algorithmically generated game, a promo card, you don't want it to be like impacting the play of the game. So we're working that out, but we'll have something to offer on this first set, and then it will probably evolve over time as that promo gets more and more integrated into something algorithmically, which would be so cool. If it's like, it's just like, I don't know, some unit that is the same as every other unit, but it looks differently in the Covenant decks, that'd be tight. So that's $96 per display. We're free shipping in the US on 2 of those displays. And as we talked about, like 2 displays is like 500 fusions of decks. So if that happens once, twice, 3 times a year, I don't know, are they looking at twice a year, 3 times a year?
I think it's roughly
2 to 3.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, Keyforge is once every 6 months, and I think they were wanting to speed it up a little bit.
Okay, so probably safe to say 2 to 3 times a year that would happen, and I have a great time with it, and have a great time with it forever. I mean, I still pick up Keyforge decks and play with them from time to time. So.
I love the idea too of all those decks getting new potential pairings later. Like, that is such a
They're
big
always
deal.
relevant, right?
Yeah,
You take your old Healy deck and you put it with a new thing. Anyway, thanks for joining us, everybody. Hey, we'll be back next week. We absolutely hope you'll be along for the ride then, and we will see you later. Thanks for being here. Take care.